across the field. Let's introduce our team. Our first group is a rookie football, K, first and second grade. Plainfield Rookie Black.
All right, well, good evening, fans. Welcome in here on AudioSportsOnline.com. I'm Rob Kendall along with Lex Zorn. Tonight, your Plainfield Quakers with a record of 3-0 will take on the Falcons of Perry Meridian. We've still got about 19 minutes up on our pregame scoreboard, and so we will get you ready for high school football tonight. Again, Plainfield enters with a record of 3-0. Big win, as you heard last week, on the road at Mooresville. And let's thank our sponsors for tonight's broadcast. They include CJ's Pizza, Whitlow's Towing, Gunnell Financial, Remax Centerstone, Julia Berberich, BGW Construction, Porter Hair Design, Holly Porter, My IT Indy, I-70 Wrecker Service and Garage, and Ellis and Associates. And with that, again, my name is Rob Kendall. I'll join you for the play-by-play call of tonight's game. But in the meantime, let's turn the pregame show over to the man with all the information, the great Lex Zorn. Lex, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you, Rob. Thanks for that very kind introduction. And I'll tell you, it's great to be here, as always, under the Friday night lights at Red Pride Stadium on the campus of Plainfield High School. And, you know, with each passing Friday, it's becoming more and more exciting to be a Plainfield Quakers fan. 3 weeks ago in the season opener at Terre Haute South, Plainfield went down 13-0 in the first quarter before coming back to win 32-13. Then 2 weeks ago in their home opener against Harrison, Plainfield went down 14-0 in the second quarter before coming back to win 15-14. Then last week at Mooresville, Plainfield largely saved us Quakers fans from the usual drama. It wasn't quite a perfect performance as Plainfield came away with no points on their first and third drives despite getting as far as the Mooresville 34 and Mooresville 10 respectively. However, on their second possession, the Quakers opened the scoring on a 2-yard touchdown rush by Luke Starnes with 1:15 left in the first quarter, and on their fourth possession, they scored on a 1-yard rush by Carter Ferguson, adding a 2-point conversion to take a 15-0 halftime lead. With 3:29 to go in the third quarter, the Pioneers got back in the game on a 35-yard touchdown pass from Hogan Denny to Trey Bennett, making it a one-possession game at 15-7. But on the ensuing kickoff, Caden Vanderbush returned it 99 yards for a touchdown, and the 2-point conversion put the Quakers up 23-7. And finally, with 11:55 to go in the fourth quarter, Ferguson rushed 5 yards for his second touchdown of the game, and Plainfield's third 2-point conversion of the game and sixth of the season gave them a commanding 31-7 lead. Finally, with 1:09 to go, in one of only a few mistakes that the Quakers made all night, Levi Dorn was left wide open for a 35-yard touchdown reception from Denny, and a 2-point conversion brought us to the final score of 31-15 as Plainfield ended a record-tying 5-game losing streak to Mooresville and got off to their first 3-0 start in 10 years. The win also moved the Quakers up 2 notches to number 6 in the AP poll for Class 5A. Tonight, Plainfield goes for their first 4-0 start in 17 years as they host the Perry Meridian Falcons, who struggled in football for most of the last 20 years, but have recently shown signs of turning a corner. Perry Meridian has not had a winning season since 2003, and after 3 seasons at 500 in the 4 years from 2012 to 2015, they fell into one of the worst slumps ever for a 6A program. In the 4 seasons from 2017 to 2020, the Falcons won just 3 games combined, but they steadily improved over the last 2 seasons, going 2-8 and 4-7. This year, they're off to a 1-2 start and have generally played well. In Week 1, they lost 29-12 to visiting Franklin Central, currently the 14th ranked team in Class 6A. That was followed by a very big 40-10 win at Southport, and last week they lost 26-20 in overtime to visiting Franklin. Now, so far this season, Plainfield has rushed 109 times and passed 57 times, a ratio of 1.9 to 1. Senior Hunter Newell has completed 30 of 56 passes, that's 53.6%, for 350 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions. His leading receiver is junior Jameer Bowie, who has 9 receptions for 103 yards and 2 touchdowns, followed by senior Caden Vanderbush with 8 receptions for 98 yards and a touchdown, and senior Isaiah Miller with 5 receptions for 89 yards. On the ground, sophomore Luke Starnes leads the way with 62 receptions for 344 yards and 3 touchdowns, followed by senior Carter Ferguson with 17 rushes for 105 yards and 2 touchdowns. Newell has rushed 20 times for 67 yards and a touchdown, and junior Weston Wayrich has rushed 7 times for 23 yards. Meanwhile, Perry Meridian has rushed 102 times and passed 65 times, a ratio of 1.6 to 1. Junior Alan Zupan, in his second season as a starter, has completed 30 of 62 passes, 48.4%, for 467 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. His leading receiver is junior Byron Hahn, who has 11 receptions for 294 yards, an extraordinary 26.7 yards per reception, and 3 touchdowns. In addition, junior Ethan Neffel has 10 receptions for 111 yards and 1 touchdown, and senior Jalen Young has 9 receptions for 78 yards. On the ground, senior Zachary Huckabee has 33 rushes for 199 yards and 3 touchdowns. Junior Jonathan Hunter has 18 rushes for 126 yards and a touchdown. Sophomore Tristan Ling has 33 rushes for 122 yards and a touchdown. And junior Andy Warren has 7 rushes for 18 yards and 2 touchdowns. Head coach for Plainfield is Tyler Bless, who's 3-0 in his first season with the Quakers. Head coach for Perry Meridian is Brett Cooper, who's 8-27 in his 4th season with the Falcons and 29-39 in his 7th season overall. He previously went 21-12 in 3 seasons at Indian Creek. Well, right now we've got 13 and a half minutes to go on the pregame clock, and we still have a steady stream of cars filing into the parking lot here. And I'll tell you, I pulled into the parking lot right about an hour before the scheduled kickoff time, and I was amazed that there were so many cars here this early. I mean, we usually get very good crowds here. Plainfield, one of the best drawing teams in the state, especially here in Class 5A. But even by their standards, it was an early arriving crowd. And then I noticed that this is the night they're honoring all the youth football kids here in the Plainfield program. Kids who should be playing for the Quakers in about 5, 6, 7, 8 years. So it's great they're getting a chance to be here on the field. And, the field they look forward to calling their home field in just a few years. And, most of the time fans of a high school football team don't pay much attention to, even the JV and the freshman team, let alone the youth, the little leagues and the 7th and 8th grade teams. And I encourage all fans to do it. I think it's great to watch the kids go up the ladder and show them that you're supporting them as they move up the ladder, because they are the future of the program. And, Rob and I, for several years, we broadcast the Hamilton Southeastern Fishers Youth Football Championships up there in Fishers. And it was great to watch those kids move up the ladder. So, yeah, if you can, get out to the freshman and JV games. Like tomorrow morning, for example, we're going to be playing the freshman and JV doubleheader down at Perry Meridian in South Central Indianapolis. And, check the Quakers Twitter feed, or X feed, I guess now they're calling it, and try to get out to the 7th and 8th grade games as well, and just support the kids and watch them move up that ladder toward the varsity team. This is a great program here, and it's continuing to get better. 17 years ago, longtime head coach Chuck Schwanekamp handed the torch to Brian Woodard, who gave us 17 great years, won us only the 2nd sectional in school history. Now Coach Woodard passed the torch to Coach Bless, who's got us in position possibly to win another sectional this year. It looks like we are in a very favorable sectional. It looks like it's going to come down to us and Decatur Central again. And, of course, we can never get enough Plainfield-Decatur Central lineups. On to other things here. Last week, you might remember in the pregame segment up at Mooresville, I mentioned a couple of statistical milestones that Mooresville would have achieved with a win. It would have been their 6th consecutive win over Plainfield, which would have set a series record, and it would have moved the Pioneers to 500 all-time for the first time since all the way back in 1953, back in the Eisenhower administration. Well, I did some research on Plainfield, and I noticed that entering this game, they have an all-time record of 447, 348, and 10, dating back to the beginning of the football program in 1941, this making it their 83rd year in football. So, with a win tonight, Plainfield will move 100 games above 500 all-time for the first time in program history. So what a great milestone that would be. So hopefully we'll see that history made here tonight. And in addition, as I alluded to in the pregame segment, with a win tonight, Plainfield would make its first 4-0 start since 2006, 17 years ago. And at that, we'll pause for the national anthem.
For the playing of our national anthem performed tonight by the Plainfield Marching Band under the direction of Mr. Michael Carpenter.
Well, thank you to the Plainfield Marching Quakers for that lovely rendition of the national anthem. And back to the point I was telling you, like I said, with the win tonight, Plainfield will move to 100 games above 500 all-time for the first time in program history. That's 83 years of football here. And in addition, with the win tonight, the Quakers, as I said in the pregame segment, will move to 4-0 for the first time in 17 years. And that would be particularly appropriate because 17 years ago was the first season under our last head coach, Brian Woodard. So now tonight we have a chance to do it for the first time, in the debut season of our new head coach, Tyler Bless. And finally, one other milestone with the win tonight, it would also be the first 4-game winning streak for the Quakers since all the way back in 2008. That year, they won 8 consecutive games from week 4 to week 11, then lost the sectional championship game.
Again, I'm Rob Kendall. That's Lex Zorn bringing you tonight's Plainfield varsity football game at home against Perry Meridian. Plainfield entering with a record of 3-0. And it is interesting, Lex, you mentioned 2008. That was actually our first year broadcasting Plainfield football. I did the math, and I think this is year number 16 for us.
Yes.
And it is pretty interesting, and we talked a little bit with Coach Bless on the Coaches Show this week about what a time to inherit Plainfield football, right? I mean, obviously, you get the team when you get the team, but he had that huge advantage, and he talked about this, of being the assistant coach last year, knowing he'd be the head coach. They had a great team last year that wins the sectional.
Yeah.
Coach Woodard goes out with a bang, and then he inherits, obviously a senior quarterback and some great skill position players. What a golden time for Coach Bless to take over the program.
Yes, it sure was. And, we did have a couple of key losses at running back with Noah Hessung, also largely a wide receiver, and Troy Larison. And then we lost Grant Irwin, our leading wide receiver, but we returned a lot of key pieces. Obviously, Hunter Newell, he's in his second season as a full-time starter. He was a part-time starter 2 years ago, played about half of the last 6 games of the season. And, he should be playing college ball a year from now. A great wide receiver in Caden Vanderbush, who will be playing college ball a year from now. He's committed to play for Western Michigan University up there in Grand Rapids, the Broncos. And then we've got a couple of great running backs who stepped up. Luke Starnes, only a sophomore, leading the team in rushing. Also, Carter Ferguson has given us some good moments off the bench, as has to a lesser extent junior Weston Wayrich. So, it was a great time, not only for Coach Bless to take over, but as you alluded to, he was the head coach designate last season. That's something we're seeing more and more, and I think it's the best way to do it, to have that transitional process, because having a head coaching change is, in the best of circumstances, it's tough, adjusting to a new system. But when the coach has already been there in the program, it's not quite as hard. And we've seen Coach Bless take a lot of the same things that Coach Woodard used to do and then add to them. One of the things is the frequent 2-point conversion attempts. Coach Woodard rarely went for the 2-point conversion, Of course, a part of it is because he had so many great kickers. But Coach Bless has attempted, out of Plainfield's 10 touchdowns this season, Coach Bless has attempted 7 2-point conversions, and he's made 6 of them.
You know, it's interesting, too, Leck. I think you've been doing, is it since 2012 you've been doing the games?
Yeah, that's right.
This is probably the best team that Plainfield has had, at least out of the gate. And I think Plainfield got a lot better as the year went on last year.
They did,
at least
yes.
to start the season. This is probably the best team they've had since you began commentating, and having done these games since 08. It's probably the best team since that 08 season. And, you know, we talked about, and you've talked about this at length, you know, for years in the sectional, we ran into Ron Colley, which was a buzzsaw. And then you ran into some other great teams. Cathedral. And then it was Decatur Central.
Yeah.
And now you kind of look at this sectional, and depending on how the draw works out, obviously Decatur Central's kind of reloaded. We'll see them in week 6?
Yeah, 2 weeks from tonight.
But, you know, it really is a great opportunity for this program, not just, and nobody wants to look too far ahead, but not just to maybe, you know, finish the season undefeated or with a loss or two, not just win a sectional, but maybe finally make some noise later into the postseason.
Well, that's right. And, you know, like, you know, Whiteland, for example, you know, they've obviously been the team to beat in the Mid-State Conference for most of the last decade. The last year, they got all the way to the state championship game, lost to Valparaiso on a touchdown in the final seconds. But, you know, even they are showing their mortality this season. They do. Whiteland is currently ranked number 4 in the class. However, keep in mind that they already have a loss to a 4A team, Kokomo, so they're not indestructible. So, you know, if last year they beat us in the regional, but if we put together a great season and we run into them in the regional again, you know, maybe we can turn the tables on them.
So Plainfield now out on the field. Just heard the fight song there. Plainfield going to wear the home reds tonight. Gray pants, white letters and numbers, red tops, red helmets. And we've still got about 3 minutes up on the clock before we begin tonight's ball game. Let's thank our sponsors again for making our broadcast possible this year. CJ's Pizza, Whitlow's Towing, Canal Financial, Remax Centerstone, Julia Burbridge, PGW Construction, Porter Hair Design, Holly Porter, My IT Indy, I-70 Wrecker Service and Garage, Ellis and Associates Remax. And, you know, it really is interesting, Leck, and I'm now in the How Old Am I Club, where I was doing the coach's show, you know, a decade and a half ago with his dad,
right.
Mark Bless, but doing these coaches shows with Tyler Bless, it really is interesting for a first-year coach how poised he is. Obviously, Coach's son knows the game well, but he's really been able to step right in, and in a weird way, he has the experience of a much more experienced coach.
He does, and I think a lot of that is because of his family history. You know, Tyler Bless comes from the first family of Indiana high school football coaches. Of course, we all know here about his dad, Mark Bless, who just retired at the end of last season after a glorious run at Avon, and then prior to that at Mooresville. But then, in addition, his 2 uncles, Tim, the longtime head coach at Columbus North before retiring a couple of years ago, and then his other uncle, Scott, still the head coach at Bloomington North. And in quite an interesting irony this week, and certainly a source of pride for the Bless family, this week, as I mentioned earlier, Plainfield is ranked number 6 in the Class 5A poll, the AP poll for Class 5A. Well, guess who's at number 5? It's none other than Bloomington North. So you have 2 Blesses, 5 and 6 in the poll this week.
Yeah, all right. So coin toss going on the field right now. Perry Meridian out. Blue pants, white jerseys, blue trim around the helmets and the shoulder pads. Plainfield, Perry Meridian winning the toss. They will defer to the second half. Plainfield will receive the kick. So here in just about 1 minute, we're going to have high school football coming up for you tonight here on AudioSportsOnline.com. Again, I'm Rob Kendall. He's Lex Zorn. We thank everybody for joining us tonight. Don't forget, we'll have the Tyler Bless show coming up for you. It's listed as Monday on the broadcast page. We usually have that up on Sunday. That's when we put it together. And I've been pretty good this year about getting it up right away and getting it out there. And we obviously want to thank longtime man in the studio and behind the curtain, Jason Dozier, who helps with all that and still makes a lot of that happen over there. And so 20 seconds up on the clock. Absolutely perfect night for high school football. Boy, especially compared to some of the weather we've had the past couple weeks there, Leck. This is absolutely perfect. And we'll be here to kick off in just about 5 seconds or so. So both teams huddling on the sidelines, getting ready now to go out onto the field. Plainfield is going to receive the kick and move from right to left on your computer screen, or south to north if you're someone who tells the location via compass.
71 degrees right now here in Plainfield. The high today was 75. A week from tonight for the big homecoming matchup right here against Greenwood, it's supposed to be 75, so we're starting to get some great weather. And I'll tell you, Rob, it's great to finally start at 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
You know, the 3 weeks ago in the opener, we started at 7:30 at Terre Haute South, I guess because of the distance. Then last week, the home opener 2 weeks ago against Harrison, we started an hour late, I guess, because of both the distance and the heat. And then last week, we were delayed. I don't know if you caught this part of the broadcast, Rob, but we were delayed by skydivers being late at Mooresville. We started about 25 minutes late. So tonight, it looks like they're going to start right on the dot here.
All right, so here we go. A couple of Quakers back deep to receive the kick. Bowie's back there, as well as Vanderbush. Vanderbush will take the kick at about the 15, across the 20, 25, and will be taken down about the 29-yard line. So Hunter Newell and company will come onto the field, and it is first down and 10 for the Plainfield Quakers.
Well, you know, last week, I was really glad that Plainfield got the ball first because they went down 13-0 and 14-0 respectively in the first two games before coming back to win. And even though we did not score on our first drive last week, we did move the ball to the Mooresville 35 and establish some early offensive momentum, which I think helped us a lot.
And here we go. 3 receivers wide to the left, 1 man in the backfield, and that is Starnes. Snap, play action, back to pass, steps up, throwing to the far side of the field, and incomplete, but a flag flies.
Right.
That'll be pass interference. Vanderbush had a step on his man. The cornerback had to grab the jersey to prevent him from a big gain, and it'll be 15 yards in favor of the Quakers.
Vanderbush last week got that spectacular 99-yard kickoff return for a touchdown when Mooresville had just cut the lead to 15-7 late in the third quarter. That just destroyed their momentum. So, you know, and I could be wrong. I need to check this, but I think that might have been Plainfield's first kickoff return for a touchdown since Dante Keys did it in the sectional championship game versus Zionsville back here in 2016. That's the first one I remember, at least.
All right, so first down and 10. Ball will move all the way up to the 40-yard line. And I think they had holding instead of pass interference, so it was 10 instead of 15. And it'll be first down and 10 from the 40-yard line. Out of the gun, snap, Gibbs straight ahead to Starnes, cuts back, bounces off one tackle, and that'll be it, as they'll give him 2 yards on the play up to the 42.
Luke Starnes having a great season for us. Only a sophomore. They give him credit for one there. He's averaged over 100 yards each game, 3 touchdowns. He scored 1 touchdown in each game.
2 receivers wide to the left, 2 men to the right. Newell works out of the gun. And a snap, steps up, throws, got a man Vanderbush near side of the field, on the run across the 45, and it'll be taken down near the 48. So they'll put him in the 49. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 1.
So next year there will be 2 Vanderbush brothers playing Division 1A ball. Older brother Cale, senior a couple of years ago, now at Iowa. Caden now committed to Western Michigan. Gains 8 there.
2 playing Division 1.
Yeah, that's right.
So it'll bring up a 3rd down and 1. Ball at the 49. They need the 50. Split back formation. Newell out of the gun. Snap. Give straight ahead, and Starnes is going to be hit, and he is going to be piled up, and he's going to be short. Might have got the initial line of scrimmage. Not much more. And now decision time coming up for Tyler Bless.
Well, Tyler Bless, you know, a young guy, I think 32, 33 or so. He's pretty adventurous. It looks like he's going to go for it here. Certainly he's adventurous with his 2-point conversions, and yes, they are going for it.
Yeah, quickly down under center is Newell. Heavy formation. Snap. Pitch to Starnes. He's got room to run. He's got midfield. And yes, as you said, like into Perry Meridian territory, 48-yard line, first down and 10, Plainfield.
You know, the Vanderbushes will be the second pair of brothers in Quaker football history that I know of who will have both played Division I ball. Also, the Hagee brothers, Morgan and John, both ended up playing for Ball State.
Out of the gun, 2 to the left, 2 to the right, 1 man to the left. Offset eye in the backfield. Now man goes in motion. It's Starnes from the backfield. Quarterback draw. He's going to keep it. Big hole across the 45, across the 40, and taken out of bounds. Flag flies late. That's going to be a face mask, and it'll be first down, very near a first down, but with this penalty tacked on, it's going to be a first down for Plainfield.
Yeah, Newell coming into this game 20 for 67 and a touchdown on the ground, and he's really a very underrated rusher. Newell, if you look at his statistics, they're not flashy, but they are extremely solid. He's been a great game manager. There's so many weapons that the Quakers have, and yes, it is a face mask. So it'll be 8 yards plus 15 there. But, Newell is really, you can't say enough about, the way he's just been so incredibly quietly effective this year.
2 to the left, 2 to the right. Lone man in the backfield is Starnes. First down and 10:32 left to go in the first. Snap, pass to the far side of the field. Knocked away, incomplete. Bowie, the intended receiver. Nice play on the far side of the field. Number 7, the cornerback. Let's see here. Colton Barker. And so Barker knocks the ball down, and it was incomplete.
Perry Meridian has improved in every year under head coach Brett Cooper. He's now in his 4th year. They've gone from 1 win to 2 to 4 last year, trying to get above 500 this year.
Snap, give is to Starnes. He breaks through 1 tackle and then is pushed down by a host of Perry Meridian tacklers. Short gain on the play that time. It'll be down to the 33. And so that'll bring up a 3rd down and 8 from the 33-yard line.
Well, they're doing a good job containing Starnes so far. I have him 4 for 6 here in the first 2 minutes of the game. So 3rd and 8, obviously the Quakers now in 4-down territory at the Perry Meridian 33. They have already converted 1 4th down on this possession.
So working out of the gun. 2 receivers wide to the right, 2 men to the left. Man goes in motion, Bowie from left to right. Snap back to pass, has time, now flushed out, rolling right, throwing on the run's got a man, and it is caught, and it's a touchdown.
All right.
Caden Vanderbush with the reception, a 33-yard touchdown pass, and with 9:33 left to go in the first quarter, it is 6-0 Plainfield.
All right, so the 3rd consecutive game that Caden Vanderbush has scored a touchdown. He scored a receiving touchdown 2 weeks ago in the big win over Harrison, and now the Quakers on the 2-point conversion. They're 6 for 7 on the season. Well, wait, we don't. Now maybe they're going to.
Direct snap, and he'll lean in, and it's caught, and it's a touchdown.
Yes.
I believe that was 44 that time. Brandon Hendry.
Yeah.
And Hendry took the direct snap and plowed right through. The Plainfield, for those of you who don't know, that time, and they've done this before, they set a kicker back there by himself, and you don't know whether they're going to snap it to him or somebody's going to take the snap directly, and that time it was a direct snap, and Hendry able to plow it in, 8-0 in favor of Plainfield. Like at your direction, I did get that question into Coach Bless on the coaches show about the going for 2, and again, it's a guy who's very, very, very confident in his team and their ability to get 2 yards. And so he says, hey, we're going for 2 a lot of the time.
Yeah, and they're 7 for 8 now, incredibly. They've gotten 11 touchdowns, gone for 8 2-point conversions, made 7. I always say if you make half your 2s, it's the same as in making all of your 1s. Well, we're doing better than that. So the thing is, if we can get last week, we went for the only extra point we made, but then we also made all 3 of the 2-point conversions, so that's 3 extra points. So that means that even if the other team keeps up with you as far as the touchdowns, they still have to. They're still going. They have to make 2-point conversions as well to remain even. So if you can make more than half your 2-point conversions, that's awesome.
There's the kickoff. It's a high kick, short kick. It'll be taken at about the 20, across the 25, head to the 30, and down at the 31, and that's where Perry Meridian will start.
Well, last year when we played at Perry Meridian in Week 4, we went into that game off to our first 0-3 start since all the way back in 1996, 26 years earlier, and we really it was almost a desperate situation. We just needed to get that monkey off our backs, getting that win. And I'll hold that thought till after this play. So now,
yes, so Perry Meridian back on the field. First down and 10. They'll move from left to right on your computer screen. And number 10, your quarterback, Alan Zupin. Snap, back to pass, steps up, Zupin, little sidearm sling. It's caught. Nice catch. Hit hard, but it was number 6 that time, Byron Hahn, with the reception. Nice catch.
Yeah, Hahn is the leading receiver. He's averaging incredibly 26 yards of reception. He gets about 9 there.
9:14 and counting. They did not get the first down, about a yard short, so the clock continues to move. Snap, give, straight ahead. Now he'll bust right side off a right tackle in a big hole that was there up near midfield. That's enough for the first down. As that time, I believe it was number 32, the ball carrier, Andy Warren III.
Yes. So nice pickup there, about 7 yards there for Warren on his first carry of the game.
One receiver to each side of the field, I formation in the backfield. Zupin down under center. Snap, give, straight ahead, and Warren III drives down to the 48. It's a gain of about 2.5 yards on first down.
So now they've given it to Warren the last 2 times. He got the first. He got the first down on his first carry. Now a 2nd and 7 for the Falcons in Quaker territory.
Ball at the 48. 2nd down and 7, they'll say on the board. 8 minutes left to go in the first quarter of action. Lone man in the backfield, 2 receivers to the right. There's the pitch, right side. Cuts it back, and a nice job that time coming in and making the hit. Number 15, Alex Holsclaw, and no gain on the play.
So Byron Hahn, the team's leading wide receiver, on a rush there, but does not get any yards. So bring up a big 3rd and 7 for the Falcons. They don't want to risk going down 2 possessions.
3rd down, 7 yards to go. 7 minutes, 30 seconds left to go in the first quarter of action. Rob Kendall, Lex Zorn bringing you tonight's play-by-play. Out of the gun, snap back to pass. Has time, throws, far side of the field, that is caught. And a nice open field tackle by number 10 for Plainfield. That's Will Freeman. However, unfortunately for Plainfield, it's a first down. Nice catch on the far side of the field by the aforementioned number 6, Byron Hahn.
Yeah, that's right. So he's got 2 for 21 in this game already. Again, he averages 26, an incredible 26 reception.
Perry Meridian quickly back to the line of scrimmage. 7 minutes and counting left to go in the first quarter. Down under center, snap, pitch to the far side of the field. Cuts it back, that's Hahn. And Hahn inside the 35, down around the 32. And Leck, I'll tell you what, it's been a couple of years since I've seen Perry Meridian, but they are a much improved team from that kind of team with a lot, program with a lot of problems we saw for several years.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when Coach Brett Cooper took over in 2020, I mean, they were possibly the worst 6A program in the state, and now he's improved them every year, and this year's got them on the brink of possibly being a winning team.
Rolls to the right side, rolling, throwing on the run, got a man caught.
What a
Great
catch.
Acrobatic catch that time by number 18, Ethan Neffel, and Neffel is down near the 21-yard line. So it'll bring up a first down and 10 for Perry Meridian. They're just doing it with short little plays, like no big bombs yet, but Perry Meridian marching right down the field after that opening strike from Plainfield.
Yeah, indeed. And what really is impressive to me is that they didn't look phased, after we scored so quickly on them. I mean, they've been composed on this drive, and they've gained yards on almost every play. But right now they're brought down right at the line of scrimmage. Might have gotten 1 yard.
Yeah, Andy Warren, the runner that time, and Warren with a gain. Looks like they're going to give him a yard, maybe a yard and a half. So ball sits at the 20. 2nd down and 9 coming up for Plainfield. Again, it's Rob Kendall. It's Lex Zorn.
Well, and last year when Plainfield played at Perry Meridian in Week 4, Alan Zupan, then a sophomore, was very promising. He had been very promising through the first 3 games, but he was knocked out of the game with an injury about halfway through the first quarter, and the team was just completely ineffective on offense without him. They did not get an earned first down until the last 4 minutes of the game.
And now a whistle and a
I
flag.
think it's going to be delay of game.
Yeah, you're right,
Yeah.
Lex. So a free 5 yards the other way for Plainfield, and that'll bring up a second and I'll probably call it 14 now.
Yeah.
For Perry
But
Meridian.
Even so, it was so great to get the monkey off our back. Plainfield won that game 28-14, led 28-0 in the fourth quarter before Perry Meridian got 2 late touchdowns, one on a kickoff return and then the other on offense with their third string quarterback. So now
back to pass. Zupan going to the end zone, and it is overshot everybody, out of bounds, incomplete in the right corner of the end zone. And it'll bring up a 3rd down and long now for Perry Meridian.
that was his first incompletion of the game, and it looked like that Hahn, the intended receiver, had some incidental contact and just wasn't where that Zupan thought he was going to be. So 3rd and 14, a very big 3rd and 14 now. Obviously, the Falcons in 4-down territory. But it'd be devastating to them if they did not get any points on this drive.
Man goes in motion from left to right. Now back to left, play action, back to pass, little bubble screen. Nice catch, but it's going nowhere. Plainfield sniffed it out that time. Number 7, Carter Ferguson, with the tackle. And that ball will go all the way back to the 25-yard line. So decision time now for Perry Meridian. It's a 4th and 14 from the 25. Don't know what the kicking game is like for them. I guess we're about to find out. It looks like the offense is staying on the field.
Yeah, this would be a 42-yard field goal attempt.
So they will go for it. Zupan working out of the gun. 2 receivers to the right, 1 man to the left. Snap, back to pass, steps up, throws, center of the field. It's behind the intended receiver, and that was Hahn, incomplete. So Perry Meridian marches down the field, and it's incomplete. It'll be 1st down and 10 for Plainfield. Let's thank our sponsors who are making our broadcast possible all year long. CJ's Pizza, Whitlow's Towing, Gunnell Financial, Remax Centerstone, Julia Burbridge, BGW Construction, Porter Hair Design, Holly Porter, My IT Indy, I-70 Wrecker Service and Garage, Ellis and Associates Remax. Again, I'm Rob Kendall. It's Lex Zorn coming to you from Plainfield High School. If you're just tuning in, 4:21 left to go in the first quarter. It's 8-0, Plainfield leading Perry Meridian. Snap, back to pass. Newell, little screen pass caught by Bowie. Bowie across the 25. He turns the corner, across the 30, and taken out of bounds on the near side of the field. Very close to the 1st down marker. It will be 1st down, Plainfield at the 35-yard line.
Well, that's great because Bowie, he was arguably the MVP of our Week 1 victory over Terre Haute South. 96 yards receiving and a touchdown in that game, but he's been mostly shut out the last 2 weeks, so it's good to see him get off to a good start here tonight.
Back to pass, steps up, going down the field. Caden Vanderbush, the intended receiver, and just passes outstretched arms. Incomplete, it'll bring up 2nd down.
Well, we were, in a situation where we could afford to take a risk like that, so. But, yeah, the main thing, we just got to take that 2-possession lead, and that'll put us in firm control of this game. Perry Meridian's teams generally, over the last, their offense has been generally solid, but their defenses have struggled a lot. So it would be very hard for them to come back from a 2-possession deficit.
Give is to Starnes. Starnes will cut it back, snakes ahead up to the 40-yard line, and it'll bring up a 3rd down and 5 from the 35.
Starnes with 5 yards, his longest rush of the game. I have him 5 for 11 now. But, he's patient. He waits for the game to come to him. He doesn't force anything. And no fumbles all season. We're in game 4 here. So
Three receivers to the left, two men to the left, three to the right. Boy, I'm going to get that right eventually tonight. Like quarterback draw, and that's not going anywhere, as that was a design play, but a host of Falcons in there to make the tackle, including number 37, and that is Jacob McClure.
So it looks like the Quakers will punt this time.
Yeah, on to kick it away, Cameron Grimes. He'll stand back at his own 25-yard line. That's Hahn back to receive the kick at the 25.
Yeah, Hahn is the most dangerous player on this Falcons team. They're one big play away from tying it.
Snap is clean. Kick is away. It's a high kick. It will hit at the 35, take a plain field bounce. Now big plain field bounce inside the 30, so all the way down to the 27-yard line. Not a great kick, but when you factor in the roll, that ended up being pretty good for Plainfield that time.
Yeah, it ended up being a 43-yard punt, so disappointing not to get any points, but, we still got the leads, an 8-0 lead, too. So, again, even if the Falcons do get a touchdown here, they got to get the 2-point conversion to tie. So now they've got Neffel and Hahn lined up for the Falcons. I formation, quarterback under center. And now we met him behind the line and stopped him around the line of scrimmage. That was...
Yeah, he was initially hit in the backfield. He bounced off, and then a host of Plainfield Quakers in on the tackle. I believe number 41 for Plainfield was in on there. And boy, Jetawo is his last name. We've struggled with his first name throughout the year, but nice job that time.
Maybe that's the question you can ask Coach Bless this week.
Yes, yes, that would probably be good for me to do. Thank you, Leck. 2:08 left to go in the first. Second down and 12. Snap, play action, back to pass. Zupin has time, fires it down the field, got a man wide open, overshot the wide open Hahn, and if he'd have caught that, he'd have walked into the end zone.
Yeah, just a little too much on it. But you can say, I like Hahn's speed, though. Hahn, by the way, spelled H-O-N.
1:57 now left to go in the first quarter. 8-0 Plainfield with the lead. Perry Meridian has the ball, facing a 3rd down and 12.
Two receivers to each side now, only one running back.
Snap back to pass. Fires to the near side of the field. It's caught. It's going to be about 2 or 3 yards shy of the first down. It was number 18 that time, Ethan Neffel, making the reception as he went out of bounds. But unfortunately for Perry Meridian, it's at the 36. It's going to put him about 2 yards short. So it'll be 4th down, and they'll say 1 on the board. And let's see what they elect to do here. It looks like they're going for it. Zachary Huckabee, number 13 in the ballgame, looks like he's wanting to take the direct snap. It's a very tight formation. 3 receivers in to the right side, and now we're getting a whistle and a timeout called by Perry Meridian. So Plainfield was ready for whatever they were doing, and now timeout Perry Meridian. Hey, let's thank our sponsors again: CJ's Pizza, Whitlow's Towing, Gannell Financial, Remax Centerstone, Julia Burbridge, BGW Construction, Porter Hair Design, Holly Porter, My IT Indy, I-70 Record Service and Garage, and Ellis & Associates Remax. Rob Kendall, Lex Zorn from Plainfield High School. Plainfield 3-0 in the year. They lead it 8-0, and a 4th down and 1 from their own 36 coming up for Perry Meridian.
And, of course, they take the timeout, and I'm sure what Coach Brett Cooper is thinking is that, they've got to, keep within striking distance. This is a very important drive. Obviously, they're taking a big risk going forward, even on 4th and 1 at their own 36. But they do not want Plainfield to take a two-possession lead. And just think about it: if Plainfield were to get a touchdown and a successful 2-point conversion, which they're 7 for 8 on this season, they're 7 for 8 on 7 for 8 on 2-point conversions. Then it's a 16-0. That's a 16-0 lead. But that would be a very big hole for these Falcons.
All right, here we go. It looks like they're going to go for it again. Didn't appear to change their mind, just maybe change the formation a little bit here. Quarterback Zupin is back in the ball game. wishbone type formation there in the backfield. Snap, give, straight ahead, drives forward. It's close, and he looks like he got it on the second push. That was number 32, Andy Warren, and Andy Warren picks up the first down for Perry Meridian. Gutsy call, and it paid off.
Yeah, so, each team in the first quarter, a successful fourth down conversion there as the Falcons have it now at the 39.
1:30 and counting left to go in the first. Perry Meridian wearing the road white jerseys, powder blue pants, blue letters and numbers. Plainfield, the home team on the scoreboard, home red jerseys, gray pants, red helmets, white letters and numbers. Snap, give is to Hahn. Hahn will bust it to the far side of the field, breaks out of one tackle, still going, breaks out of another tackle, and a nice run by Hahn that time. Didn't get big yardage, ended up with about 4 yards, but he was hit in the backfield and ended up making something positive out of it.
Yeah, I like the toughness of that kid. I mean, his speed and just, how he kept on spinning around every time he was hit. And, he got something out of nothing. I mean, it could have been, tackle, for no gain or maybe a yard. He got 5 out of it, so bringing up a not too bad 2nd and 5 for the Falcons.
So Plainfield on defense. Snap, direct snap, straight ahead. Plainfield was ready for it, but he breaks out of it. He's got a big hole in the far side of the field, across the 40, into Plainfield territory, down around the 35. That was a direct snap that time to the aforementioned Zachary Huckabee, number 13, and he drove right into a pile of bodies at the front of the line and was able to bounce it out to the far side of the field, picked up the first down, and back into Plainfield territory at the 35.
So a nice 21-yard rush there by Huckabee, the team's leading rusher. By the way, the last name spelled Huckaby, not E-E.
Out of the gun, first down and 10. Snap, Huckabee again to the far side, drives forward, stays in bounds, but will pick up about 7 or 8 yards that time. And again, hit near the line of scrimmage, but able to bounce it free to the far side and pick up positive yardage, and that will be the final play of the first quarter. So 1 quarter in the books. Plainfield leads at 8-0. However, Perry Meridian driving into Plainfield territory. They'll have it 2nd and 2 from the 27 when we begin the second quarter.
Well, I'll tell you, I was surprised that it took that long to give the ball to Huckabee, the team's leading rusher on the season. It wasn't until the last 2 plays of the quarter that he finally got the ball, but he sure made it count. So 2 rushes for 29 yards, and now the Falcons, when we start the second quarter, will be in striking distance here. They're trying to keep pace with the Quakers. Perry Meridian, again, they have not had a winning season since 2003, 20 years ago. They have not had a 500 season since 2015. They won only 3 games total in the 4 seasons from 2017 to 2020, but then after head coach Brett Cooper took over 3 years ago, they went from 1-10. They won. Their only win of that year was a playoff game against Arsenal Tech. Then a couple of years ago, 2-8. Last year, 4-7. So they're slowly establishing themselves as a team in the middle of the pack here in the Mid-State Conference. And with the coach, with the school having the largest enrollment here in the Mid-State, if they can, Cooper can keep on improving the way he has, they could be, a top-tier team here in the conference in the near future.
All right, so back at action here. Now Perry Meridian moving from right to left. Snap back to pass. Zupin has it. He's going towards the end zone, and it'll fall incomplete, but a flag flies in late. Plainfield does not like that on their sidelines. Looked like pretty good coverage down there by number 26, Carson Cole, and unfortunately, they are going to throw a flag. Again, it looked like it was pretty good coverage there. The Perry Meridian receiver tripped, it appeared, but they call it an incomplete pass, but pass interference. So it'll be first down and 10 coming up for Perry Meridian.
So the Falcons will get 15 free yards now. It will be 1st and 10 at the 12, 11:54 to go here in the second quarter here at Plainfield. Coming at you live here at Red Pride Stadium, game 4 of 9 in the regular season. Hard to believe next week will already be the midpoint of the regular season. We got Greenwood coming in for our homecoming. Hope you all will get out for that one.
2 to the right, 1 man in the backfield. Huckabee again with the direct snap, drives ahead, and this time a host of Plainfield Quakers will get him and wrap him up after a gain of about a yard.
So they finally, well, I shouldn't say finally, it was only his third carry, but they went to the well one too many times. So Huckabee, well, they give him credit for, it looks like 1 yard there. They say 2nd and 9. Still Huckabee averaging an even 10 by my count, 3 for 30.
2 receivers wide to the right. Working out of the shotgun, 1 man in the backfield. Man goes in motion from right to left. And now whistle and flags fly, and I think that's going to be some sort of motion penalty on Perry Meridian.
Which would make it
false start, yeah.
That would make it 2nd and 14. By the way, Huckabee, as I said in the pregame segment on the season, coming into tonight, 33 carries, 199 yards, a little over 6 a carry, and 3 touchdowns. So certainly that gives the Quakers defense a little bit of a break there. 2nd and 14 at the 18 now. 8-0 Plainfield lead. The Quakers going for their first 4-0 start in 17 years, first 4-game winning streak in 15 years. And Perry Meridian going for their first win ever against Plainfield. The Quakers lead the series 5-0.
1 receiver to each side of the field. Snap, back to pass. Huckabee fires it to the far side of the field. It's up, and Hahn caught it. Touchdown as he fell out of bounds. Plainfield making the case he was out of bounds when he came down, but the official says a catch. What a great catch that time by Hahn. Huckabee to Hahn, and Perry Meridian has a chance to tie the game.
But to do so, they will need a 2-point conversion. So that's where the and if they miss it, then we'll still have a 2-point lead. So that's where Coach Bless's strategy comes in.
So they will go out of that jumbo type formation, zooping down under center, snap, give, cuts it back, drives ahead, and Plain, he's close, he's short. He didn't get it that time. Warren got the handoff, and he was hit in the backfield. He leaned forward, got positive yardage, but not the 2 necessary. So great job by Plainfield that time, standing firm. It's 8-6 with 10:47 left to go in the first.
So we retain the lead. So you see Coach Bless's strategy. There's a method to the madness. And, I doubt there's any team in the state that has 7. I could be wrong. Of course, we have 320 or so high school football teams here in Indiana, but I would not be surprised if there's not another one that has I'd be surprised if there is another team that has 7 successful 2-point conversions here in week 4.
Let's take our sponsors again. CJ's Pizza, Whitlow's Towing, Gannell Financial, Remax Centerstone, Julia Burbridge, BGW Construction, Porter Hair Design, Holly Porter, My IT Indy, I-70 Wrecker Service and Garage, and Ellis and Associates Remax. I'm Rob Kendall. He's Lex Zorn. We are at Plainfield High School, where the Quakers lead it by a score of 8-6 over Perry Meridian.
Well, thrilling start to the game so far. Wish the Quakers had scored on their second drive, but they do have the lead, 8-6. Perry Meridian's closest game in their 5 games against the Quakers was 14 points last year, and even that was misleading because the Falcons got 2 late touchdowns when they were down 28-0. Prior to that, their closest game against the Quakers was 3 years ago, 21-point margin, 28-7. 2 years ago, the last time the two teams met here at Red Pride Stadium.
So Plainfield will receive the kick now. 10:47 left to go in the first half. Rob Kendall, Lex Zorn. There's the kick. It's a line drive kick. It'll be taken on the fly at the 20, across 25 to the 30, and a big hit up across the 30-yard line. Number 15 that time on the reception, Alex Holtzclaw, a nice little return on top.
And here's another thing, Rob, by the way. If the Quakers get a touchdown on this possession, even if they get a 1-point conversion, they will have a 2-possession lead. So
that's true, and that's the danger of going for 2 down there when you're trying to match another team.
So obviously that's one new aspect of this team that us in Quaker Nation are already loving.
Three receivers to the right, one man to the left. Single man in the backfield. Snap, play action. Newell pass to Bowie. Bowie got it. Across the 35, across the 40, and he will sprint ahead up to the 46-yard line. First down and 10 for Plainfield.
So Bowie, with his first multiple reception game since back in week 1, picks up 13 there.
Three receivers to the left, one man to the right. Single man in the backfield. Snap, play action, caught, far side of the field, room to run, up near the 50, taken down across midfield, and they'll rule him out of bounds into Perry Meridian territory down to the 49-yard line.
So Isaiah Miller there with a reception. He's one of 3 Quakers on the year who's had a reception of at least 40 yards. Newell's now completed 5 of his first 6 passes. Isaiah Miller, a senior who's been lost in the shadow of some bigger names the last couple of years, but has had some very good moments so far.
Gives straight ahead to Starnes. Big hole that time. Starnes plows ahead. First down to the 42-yard line. He needed to get to the 44, so easily Plainfield now will get a new set of downs.
And, the thing is, after completing several passes in a row, I think they, really lost their focus on Starnes, and he was able to get there pretty well in touch. Gets his longest gain of the evening, 7 yards, 6 for 18 now for the sophomore.
Snap back to pass, screen pass to the far side of the field. Big catch, Vanderbush. He will be taken down after a gain of about 6 or 7, down to about the 36-yard line.
It's not a huge gain, but like I said, all you need is 3.4 a play. They give him credit for 5 on that one. Vanderbush's 3rd reception of the game already has a touchdown for 33 yards, excuse me.
3 receivers wide to the right, 1 man to the left, and forward movement at the line of scrimmage. That looks like it's going to be on Perry Meridian, and that may be enough for a Plainfield first down. It will be offsides, yeah, on Perry Meridian.
So 9:33 to go here in the second quarter. The Quakers leading the Falcons 8-6. Perry Meridian enters the game at 1-2. They know it should be 2-1. They lost it overtime last week to Franklin, which would have been a pretty big upset had the Falcons pulled it off. So now back to action here. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left.
Snap back to pass. Steps up. Rolling right side. Rolling. Newell on the run. He's going to keep it inside the 30, and he'll be taken out of bounds inside the 25-yard line. So a nice little gain that time after the play broke down by Newell, and gets out of bounds right at the 25.
So now it'll be second and 4 for the Quakers. Newell 3 for 12 on the ground in this game, 20 for 67 and a touchdown coming into this game. So now they've got Vanderbush, Bowie, and Miller 1, 2, 3 all lined up to the left. Marcos Rivera to the right.
3 receivers to the left, 1 man to the right. Snap, give is ahead to Starnes. He will run into a host of Perry Meridian tacklers that time. Picks up maybe a yard down to the 24. And so it'll bring up a 3rd down and 4 for the Plainfield Quakers from the 24-yard line.
So Starnes gets credit for 1 there. 8:54 to go now. And counting here in the Quakers content to let the time run. So once again, numbers 1, 2, 3 line up to the left. And Rivera to the right.
Newell out of the gun, Starnes in the backfield. Snap back to pass, steps up. He's going to keep it. He's going to go right side, and he's got a first down, or he's going to be very close to it. I guess it'll depend on the spot. This official on the far side of the field looks like he's giving it to him. He is. It is a first down at the 21-yard line.
I apologize for any confusion. Let me explain what I meant by 1, 2, 3. I was just reading the numbers. Number 1 for Plainfield is Caden Vanderbush. Number 2, Jameer Bowie. Number 3, Isaiah Miller. Those 3 guys were all lined up together on the left. So
how about that?
Yeah.
Put them together and you got 6.
Yes. Oh, that's a good one. Didn't think about that. All right.
That's why I'm here, Lek.
Yep.
There's got to be some reason. As you said, Lek, 1, 2, 3 to the left. 1 man in tight right. Newell out of the gun. Snap back to pass. little screen is caught. They say it was caught. Boy, it looked like he might have picked that off the turf.
I thought it was, actually.
Yeah, they give the catch to Isaiah Miller. Not much doing, though. He's able to lean forward, pick up maybe 2 yards, down to the 19, and I'll bring up second down and 8. 7:50 left to go in the first half. Rob Kendall, Lex Zorn. Plainfield leads it 8-6. Second and 8 from the Perry Meridian 18-yard line.
Another thing you do really well, Rob, far better than I do, you're great at picking out the penalties. I'm terrible at that, so that's another
Well, I got
reason.
20/10 vision, Lex. I can't hear worth anything, but I got 20/10 vision. So it all went to the eyes, none to the ears. Out of the gun, split back formation, 2 men to the right, 1 man to left. Snap, play action. Newell goes right side, fires, middle of the field.
Oh.
Had Bowie wide open and unfortunately overshot him, incomplete. It'll bring up third down.
Newell still completed 7 of his first 9. And, you know, Newell only 350 yards through the air coming into this game and a modest 3 touchdowns, but no interceptions. He's just been mainly a game manager, and he's done that very well. And although he's shown that he can throw a deep ball when he needs to, and like I said, he has 40-plus yard receptions to 3 different receivers. So I think there's a good chance he's going to end up in college ball next year. He sure deserves it.
Working out, movement up front, and there's a flag and a big 5 yards for Plainfield as Perry Meridian once again jumps off sides.
So 3rd and 8 becomes a much nicer 3rd and 3. 7:22 to go. A little over a third of the way through this game. 7:41 your time of day here. Coming at you live here at Red Pride Stadium. We're in our 16th year of bringing you Plainfield Quakers football. I've had the honor and pleasure of being on the team for the last 12 of those seasons. Hopefully many more to come. It's a great thrill to be here last year with Rob when Plainfield won only the second sectional championship in school history, and especially that they did it in Hollywood-type fashion in Coach Woodard's farewell season.
3rd down and 3. 7:22 left to go. Snap. Newell. Back to pass. Going to the end zone. And it's caught and dropped. Bowie got turned around. He was wide open, and he got turned around. And unfortunately, when he looked up, the ball was basically right on his face mask, and he couldn't catch it.
Well, it's fourth and 3 at the 13th. 4th and 3 at the 13 now. This would be a 30-yard field goal. Now, keep in mind, Cameron Grimes this year, he's hit from 40, missed from 37, missed from 45. So we are in his range. But, you know, bless, you know, a very daring young man. And now the Quakers are going to take their first time out here with 7:17 to go. I guess trying to decide what to do. The important thing is that they get a score. And it's good they saved, you know, all of their timeouts for well into the second quarter. Well, I'll tell you, 1 week from tonight, Plainfield returns to action right here at Red Pride Stadium. It'll be our homecoming, Game 5 of the season, and it will be a game that, you know, just a couple of weeks ago looked like it was going to be a gimme win. Now it looks like it might be a little tougher. The Greenwood Woodmen, who last year went 1-9, we beat them 43-14 last year, a game that was played with a running clock starting late in the third quarter in the farewell season for their head coach Mike Campbell, who switched to the athletic director position there. However, now under first-year head coach Justin Bozen, the Woodmen are one of the turnaround stories of the year so far in Indiana high school football. They're off to an incredible 3-0 start. And what makes it even more remarkable is that Coach Rosen has completely changed the Woodmen offense from an almost exclusively rushing team to one of the best passing teams in the state. More about that later. So now back to action here. 4th and 3 for the Quakers.
They are going to go for it. Starnes, the lone man in the backfield. Very tight formation. Everybody up front. And now whistle and a timeout by Perry Meridian. So it's a game of competing timeouts here. 7:17 left to go in the first half. And you know, like one of the things over the years we've been doing these games from Plainfield that has been a great joy is we get to see all the airplanes going to the airport.
Yes, we do, yeah. And I especially remember back when we were when we were doing the video broadcasts of the freshman and JV games, you know, on Saturday mornings, we'd get some really good shots of them. So, yeah, we're just a few miles southwest of the Indianapolis International Airport. And certainly it's part of the charm here of these games. And I'll tell you, every once in a while I'll pull out one of the old video broadcasts from my early years here, and you see how much things have changed. I mean, like I remember when I was first here, they just had a big giant P out on the field, the letter P.
Yeah.
And now they've got like a really cool logo And
It's the same one we actually used for our broadcast on
Yeah.
on the YouTube live feed.
yeah, so it's really come a long way. It's interesting to see the progression and like because I've done so many games since it's been like it is now. I forgot it used to look the old way, but all right, 4th and 3 now, back to action for the Quakers.
Snap, play action. Newell rolling right side, rolling, throwing. Caught. He had Vanderbush wide open, hit him right in the numbers, and just didn't work out. And boy, 2 opportunities for big plays there, and Hunter Newell put the passes right where they needed to be, and the receivers just couldn't make the catches.
And he probably could have run for the first down too. It reminds you of that play last year late in the Decatur Central game of the sectional championship where he could have run for the first down, didn't. And but all's well that ends well. We still pulled it out with that 19-yard touchdown pass from Newell to Noah Hessing on our last offensive play. And man, what a great ending for Coach Woodard.
All right, so now Perry Meridian with a chance to take the lead. Zupin back to pass. Steps up, pump fake, now throwing it deep, and it is going to be incomplete. Nearly picked off, but the ball sailed out of bounds. Number 7, Carter Ferguson, was over there in coverage.
Well, the good thing is that at least the Falcons, even though it's disappointing that we've only scored on one of our 3 possessions, you know, and that is something that we're going to have to improve down the stretch if we want to make a deep playoff run. We got to start finishing more drives. But, you know, is there a penalty that I missed?
Must have been.
Yeah. Okay.
Because they're going to move the ball up. Looks like.
So 10 yards. So it's a 10-yard penalty.
Wow. So first down. So maybe a defensive holding of some sort there.
So it's not. It's one good thing about 2 people in the booth. We don't miss. You know, it's not. Oh, hold on.
Now there's a give straight ahead and still driving very close to a first down. Looks like he may be just about a yard
and
short.
And another flag after the play.
Yeah, number 32 that time on the carry, Andy Warren.
But will it count? The clock stops and even 7 minutes to go here in the second quarter, game 4 of 9 in the regular season. We have a couple of officials deliberating now.
And let's see what the call is here. Still talking. It looks like they're walking backwards.
Plainfield leading 8-6. Both teams scored a touchdown. The Quakers scored first, got a 2-point conversion.
Oh boy, personal foul on Perry Meridian.
So that'll wipe out that 10-yard rush there by Warren. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Okay.
Ooh boy, that is gonna. It's one thing to get a penalty over the course of a play, you know, like a horse collar or a face mask or whatever.
Yeah.
Those aren't great, but at least it's in the course of the play. Those unsportsmanlike conducts, that means you said or did something that was totally in your control.
Yeah, and, you know, I try not to be too judgmental because you never know when a referee's going to have a short fuse. But, yeah, you've got to stay composed at all times during the game. Because an unforced error like that can easily cost you the game. I mean, right now, you know, this is a game that over a third of the way in, it's a two-point margin.
Yeah, and so it went from 2nd and about 1 to 1st and 10. So bad break there for Perry Meridian. Snap, give straight. Oh, boy, big hit in the backfield that time. And our old pal, number 41, Jetawo, with the hit. And a big hit. Moves them back. Going to be a loss of yards on the play. 2nd down coming up.
Yeah, and I couldn't tell I couldn't tell which one it was, but one of the Quakers, he telegraphed it almost perfectly. He started rushing before the snap, and I guess, you know, the snap occurred, you know, right before he would have crossed over the line. So
2 receivers, 1 man to each side, lone man in the backfield. Snap, play action, rolling right side, rolling, throwing on the run. It's incomplete. Flag flies in late, and I think they're going to get a holding on Carter Ferguson. And that's going to be a first down, likely, for Perry Meridian coming up. 6 minutes to go in the first half. Been a kind of a sloppy game from a penalty perspective here thus far.
And, you know, one thing I wonder, Rob, is if the late start of the last 3 games, you know, would have at least subconsciously caused the referees to call the game a little looser.
Yeah, got to get home.
But yeah, they started this one right on time tonight, so maybe it'll be called a little tighter.
So that'll move it all the way up to the 30-yard line. It'll be a first down and 10. Now keep in mind, in high school, pass interference is different than holding. It's penalized different and different yardages. Even if you get a pass interference that is less than 15 yards down the field, they'll give you the 15 yards. So that makes a big difference. Big hit that time. Nothing doing. Hahn, the runner. And I see number 34, it looked like, in there on the hit, Tyler Simic.
So they'll give Hahn credit for one there. I've got Hahn only 5 of 6 on the ground tonight, although he's done very well through the air. So I'm surprised they're giving it to him on the ground as much. Maybe they think they're going to, maybe they see a matchup they think is favorable to him. So 2nd and 9 at the 31.
And I imagine that 34, I don't even think that's a number on the field. But like I said, it's really hard to see from here, and we're not CBS. We don't have a spotter.
Yeah.
Somebody made a nice tackle there. Back to pass, Zupin throws, big catch. It's hit. It's going to be enough for a first down. That was what I was trying to figure out. Hahn on the reception.
Yes.
Nice open field tackle that time by number 10, Freeman, but he was short. He was hit him beyond the sticks, even though he drove him back, and they will give him the first down at the 41.
Yes, indeed. I mean, it was so the Falcons keep the drive alive. 1st and 10 at the 41, and keep in mind they do get the ball first to start the second half.
So ball sits at the 40. 4:50 and counting. Snap, stretch play, coming to the near side of the field and nothing doing there. No gain. Well, no, I guess they'll give him a few yards there that time. Number 5 that time on the run, Jonathan Hunter. And actually, I'm way off based on where they spotted that ball at. Generous spot up to the 45, so he gets 4 yards on the run.
And now
Back to pass. Zupin going to air it out down the field, and it is caught inside the 20, inside the 10, inside the 5, and pushed out down around the 2-yard line. Boy, they just threw that ball up for grabs, and number 18, Ethan Neffel, came down with it, and
God, they're marking him at the 2, so that's a 53-yard pickup there. Amazing.
boy. Nothing fancy about that at all. It was just a ball up for grabs and came down with it and then spun around and went down the sideline. So all the way down, as you said, to the 2, jumbo formation, and a snap and a give, and he'll walk in, and it's a touchdown. And so Plainfield, after that great start, now finds themselves down 12-8 with 3:47 left to go in the first half of action.
Very, very concerning turn of events here. And again, remember, we got 3:47 to work with now. We don't know what the score is. It's 12-8 now with the conversion pending. But, we got 2 timeouts left, certainly time to score. But remember, Perry Meridian gets the ball first to start the second half, and they're starting to hit their stride on offense. And they got the 2-point conversion. So it's 14-8 now. So Warren appropriately rushed in the 2-point conversion after scoring the touchdown. So now your score 14-8 after that 2-yard touchdown rush by Andy Warren III that was set up by a 53-yard touchdown pass from Alan Zupin to Ethan Neffel. So Plainfield scored at ease on its first possession, has come up empty since, despite getting despite driving well and in fact getting all the way down to the Perry Meridian red zone, I believe up to the 13 on their last possession, turning it over on downs. And then punting on their second possession. And again, the story of the game, they've got to finish drives. Now keep in mind that Plainfield did come from behind to win. In five of Plainfield's last 6 wins, they did come from behind. Last week was last week broke that streak at 5. I was hoping that it was going to be over for a long time, but now they're going to have to come back again. No time to panic, but the key word for the Quakers now has just got to be finish.
$14 to 8 is the score. Line drive kick. It'll be taken on a bounce at the 20 to the 25, and Bowie breaks out of a tackle, stays on his feet, still going, and drives ahead. He earned those extra 3 yards the hard way.
He did, yeah, and I think he just really felt that urgency. You know, he wants to give a jump start to this team that's just stalled on their last couple of possessions, despite some good moments. So 3:38 to go. The Quakers still with 2 timeouts, so a full range of options, trailing by 6. They enter the game ranked number 6 here in Class 3A, in Class 5A, excuse me, in Class 5A. So now 4 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, empty backfield. This might be a good play for a long rush by Newell.
Give us to Starnes. Starnes cuts it back to the near side of the field, breaks 1 tackle, breaks another, drives ahead. Great run that time by Starnes. Started left, there was nothing there. Cut it back right. Very Barry Sanders-esque that time, Alec.
Yeah, that's right.
And it is enough for a first down all the way up at the 38, so great run by Starnes.
Okay. If we can just get the touchdown, take the lead to end the half, then we'll have the momentum back. So 2 receivers to each side now. Starnes the running back.
Newell working out of the gun. Snap. Give to Starnes. Cuts it back again. Big hole. Drives ahead. Up near another first down. He's going to be about a yard short at the 49.
Well, Starnes, I don't know what it is, but, in all 4 games this year, basically he's been a slow starter, but he's really picked up later in the game. So now 19 yards his last 2 carries. 2nd and 1 now for the Quakers. 2:50 to go at their own 47. So now Newell, screen pass to his right, completes to Miller. He's got the first, knocked out of bounds around the 45. So that broke a streak of 3 incompletions That's broke a streak of 3 incompletions now for Newell. Gets 7 there to Miller, and it's Miller's 3rd reception of the game.
Working out of the gun, first down and 10. 2:43 left to go in the first half. Plainfield all the way down to the 46. Ooh, they might have got away with a false start that time. Starnes has a big hole, cuts it to the near side of the field. He's off to the races. He's inside the 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown.
Yes. Luke Starnes, 46 yards. I believe that's a career long. I'll look that up. But the Quakers now have it tied with the conversion pending.
So Starnes goes the distance. Nice job that time. Took it off right side, got past 1 initial set of tacklers, and then nobody was going to catch him. And so Luke Starnes goes the distance, puts it in, and with 2:34 to go, it's a tie ball game. Let's see what Plainfield does here.
Well, whether it's
direct snap, and boy, they are going to be short. So no good. So Plainfield, one of the rare misses on these 2-point conversions.
They're 7 of 9, and I'll tell you, I was hoping we would go for the 1 there just to take the lead. And remember, Grimes is 3 for 3 on extra points. So maybe Coach Bless getting a little more brave there than I would have been. I would have taken the 1, but nevertheless, we are tied. So now we just got to hold them the rest of the half, and then it'll be, a new game to start the second half. But I'll tell you, even before Starnes broke through for that 46-yard touchdown rush, I really liked the way the drive was going because I saw the urgency, I saw the focus, and it was like, okay, we got to finish this drive, and sure enough, they did. And both scoring plays for the Quakers have come on long plays. First, there was the 33-yard pass from Newell to Vanderbush, now the 46-yard rush by Starnes. So Starnes now with 1 touchdown in each of the 4 games for the Quakers. And how exciting it is that we have that young that young man back for 2 more years.
2:34 left to go in the first half. Rob Kendall, Lex Zorn. It is a tie ball game now, 14 apiece. Going up at the half. Well, Leck will have the halftime show. And wow us with his general charm and charisma. There's the kickoff. And ahead to the 25-yard line. Host of Quakers in on the tackle. That time including number 22 for Plainfield, Weston Wyrich.
And the scores, I mentioned Plainfield and Perry Meridian have played 5 times. They had never played each other until Perry Meridian joined the Mid-State Conference 5 years ago. Plainfield has won all 5 games. The scores were 42-7, 42-20, 42-7 again, 28-7, and then last year 28-14. So we scored 42 points each of the first 3, 28 each of the last 2. 14 in the first half tonight, so on pace to get 28.
All right, so 1 timeout left for the Falcons as they first play, drive in, and nothing doing. And it'll be interesting to see how aggressive Perry Meridian is here. They've got the 1 timeout. Plainfield has 2 timeouts left. Are they going to be content to say, hey, look, we played them to a draw. Let's try to run a couple plays, and let's see if we can get, hit jackpot, and if not, we'll just walk in with the tie, or are they going to be aggressive and try to move the ball down the field?
Yeah, we'll see. I figured they would be a little more aggressive, although, they do get the ball first to start the second half. So, and it could be that they're just trying to, make sure that they run out the rest of the clock and Plainfield doesn't get a chance to add to or to regain the lead.
Throws it down the field. It's up, and it's picked off. It's picked off on the far side of the field, inside the 50, inside the 45, and all the way down near the 35-yard line. Carter Ferguson.
So Carter Ferguson, 2 touchdowns last week, an interception tonight, doing it on both sides of the ball like Grant Irwin did in our sectional championship game last year over Decatur Central. So now we got it at the 35, and we're in business here, and boy, that was very, ill-advised pass there by Zupin, who's mostly played very well this season. So now the Quakers first and 10 at the 35, 2 timeouts left, 134, full range of options.
Out of the gun, 2 to the left, 2 to the right. Snap, back to pass, rolling right side, rolling. Newell on the run, rolling. Incomplete.
It's okay. So Newell has gotten a lot better since he first started playing varsity 2 years ago. When he first started playing varsity 2 years ago as a sophomore, Newell has improved a lot at getting rid of the ball when he needs to. And by the way, that was Zupin's only his 2nd interception of the season. Newell has not thrown an interception yet.
Clock is stopped at 1:28. Plainfield at the 35-yard line, 2nd down and 10.
Let's get a score, boys.
Snap, back to pass. Right side, on the run. Newell stops, avoids 1 tackle, drives that. Boy, he got hit and he lost his helmet, and I hope he's all right. That was a huge hit, and he looks like he's okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
Helmet came off. He's going to run over to the sidelines. I don't know if you have to if the helmet came off.
Possibly.
I think you can call a timeout and not lose the player, and I think that's what Tyler Bless was discussing with the referee. And that is what he's going to do. Yeah, that's exactly what he's going to do. So he's going to burn a timeout with 1:16 left to go.
It's a good time to do it anyway. So that the thing is, we still got a time left. It's 3rd and 10 at the 35, 1:14 left. We've still got that timeout left. The clock stops to move the chains if we get a first down. So if by using the timeout now, it ensures that we're going to be able to work the whole field, that not just have to either throw toward the sideline or into the end zone. So, we got good fortune by getting that interception. It was a pass that should not have been thrown by Zupin, but we got to take the break that we got, and so we don't want to squander this opportunity. We squandered our 2nd and 3rd drives tonight before getting back on track on our 4th. Now we got to just get some points, take that lead into the locker room, and clearly have the momentum, closing out the half with 2 scores after we gave up the lead there. So 1:14 to go here, and they give Newell a 1 yard loss there. Third and 11. 2 receivers to each side. Now Starnes the running back. Snap. And now Newell takes it up himself, but he runs into his own man. Still gets around a couple of guys. Gets maybe 3. No, I'm sorry. That was Marcos Rivera. Excuse me. Marcos Rivera in for Hunter Newell. Now Newell back in. 58 seconds to go.
Yeah, big decision here for Plainfield. I mean, it's probably too long for a kick. It'd be a 50, that'd be about a 54-ish yard kick, depending on.
Yeah, 50, yeah.
Well, may not be that far, but yeah, well over 50 yards. So it's probably too long. So if you just run the clock down, maybe you don't get it here, but at least, you run enough clock to where you get a shot at the end zone or picking up the first down, and then you burn enough clock to where it makes it difficult for Perry Meridian to capitalize if you don't pick it up.
Yeah, I think that's the thinking here. So disappointing. If of course we still could get it. I mean, 4th and 8, but you just want to seize every opportunity, and you would hate for us to end up letting them off the hook after we got that interception. So we'll see what happens here. But anyway, nevertheless, a mixed performance for Plainfield so far. The main problem has been their biggest problem all season, though it's been a small enough problem. We've still won all of our games, but it's been enough of a problem that it's caused us to sweat a lot more than we'd like to, and that's just failing to finish drives. And that is something I definitely hope we'll take care of by our homecoming a week from tonight, the midway point of the season, when Greenwood comes to town. It'll be our only incidence of back-to-back home games during the regular season. Of course, we don't know what's going to happen in the playoffs. So now back to action here. Vanderbush lines up to the right. Rivera and 2 receivers to the left. Starnes the running back. Newell in shotgun.
Out of the gun. Back to pass. Steps up. Has time. Fires it towards the end zone to Vanderbush. And it'll fall incomplete.
Looked to me like he was trying to draw the pass interference.
All right, so decision time here for Perry Meridian. They have 1 timeout left. And we will see if they elect to try to put something into moving the ball, or if they are content to just run a play and take that into the locker room.
I'd say 66 yards shy of the end zone. I would say, especially
they're going to be, they're lining up in the prevent.
Yeah.
Or is that what it's called? What's it called? What's the name of this?
Well, they usually call it victory formation.
Victory formation.
Yeah.
Thank you. There's the knee. All right. So we are 1 half in the books. There's the knee, and it is 14-14. Plainfield and Perry Meridian knotted at 14 as we head to the half. Let's again take a moment to thank the fabulous sponsors who have made Plainfield football possible all year long, whether it's our coaches show or our live game broadcast. CJ's Pizza, Whitlow's Towing, Gunnell Financial, Remax Centerstone, Julia Burbridge, BGW Construction, Porter Hair Design, Holly Porter, My IT Indy, I-70 Wrecker Service and Garage, and Ellis and Associates. Again, I'm Rob Kendall. He's Lex Zorn coming to you tonight from Plainfield High School. We are at the half. Both teams have scored twice. Both teams have made a 2-point conversion. Both teams have missed a 2-point conversion. And we are now tied at 14 as the marching band comes on to the field. Leck, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you, Rob. Back here at Plainfield, we're at halftime here in Game 4 of the season with your 6th-ranked Plainfield Quakers in a surprisingly tough battle. We are tied 14-14 with the Perry Meridian Falcons. We're 5-0 all-time against Perry Meridian. We've played every year since 2018 when the Falcons joined the Mid-State Conference, and we've beaten them by at least 14 points every year. However, in this game, Plainfield has struggled with the season-long problem of failing to finish drives, squandered opportunities. They have not made many mistakes. They just haven't finished off drives when they needed to, and we've let the Falcons hang in there. Now, with 9:37 to go, Plainfield on the opening drive of the game scored on a on a 33-yard touchdown pass from Hunter Newell to Caden Vanderbush. Got a successful 2-point conversion, making it 8-0. However, the Quakers then punted on their second possession, and then on Perry Meridian's second possession with 10:47 to go in the second quarter, Alan Zupin scored, he threw an 18-yard touchdown pass to Byron Hahn. However, the 2-point conversion failed, and Plainfield retained the lead 8-6. However, then later in the third quarter, Zupin threw 53 yards to Ethan Neffel, getting the ball from the Perry Meridian 45 to the Plainfield 2, and then on the next play, Andy Warren III scored on a 2-yard rush, and then he also rushed in the 2-point conversion to give Perry Meridian a 14-8 lead, but Plainfield did strike back just 1 minute and 13 seconds later on a 46-yard rush by Luke Starnes. However, the 2-point conversion failed, bringing us to our current score of 14-14 on Perry Meridian's ensuing possession. Alan Zupin threw only a second interception of the season, and it was returned to the Perry Meridian 35, but the Quakers turned it over on downs, and then the Falcons took over and just knelt out the clock. A look at the individual statistics, first of all, for Plainfield. Hunter Newell has completed 8 of 14 passes for 83 yards and 1 touchdown. Caden Vanderbush has 3 receptions for 46 yards and 1 touchdown. Jameer Bowie has 3 receptions for 14 yards. Isaiah Miller has 3 receptions for 14 yards, and Jameer Bowie has 2 for 23. On the ground, Luke Starnes has 10 rushes for 84 yards and a touchdown. Hunter Newell, 5 for 15, and Marcos Rivera, 1 for 3. Meanwhile, for for Perry Meridian, Alan Zupin has completed 8 of 12 passes for 122 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. Byron Hahn has 5 receptions for 48 yards and a touchdown, and Ethan Neffel has 3 receptions for 74 yards, one of them a 53-yarder that set up Perry Meridian's go-ahead touchdown. And on the ground, Zach Huckabee, 3 receptions for 30 yards. Andy Warren III, 5 for 12 and a touchdown. And Jonathan Hunter, 7 for 10. So, basically, this is a game in which it's still Plainfield's to lose. We've you go back to, like I said, last week in the Mooresville broadcast, going into last week's game, our last 5 victories had been all come from behind. Of course, this week we were only behind 1 minute and 13 seconds before we tied it, and it remains tied now. So this is ours, but we've just got to finish our drives. We've got to do what we did on the first and fourth drives and just play with confidence, play with focus, and then like we did on the fourth drive, basically just play with a strong sense of urgency, like we got to get a score here. We were playing like, we're down 14-8. We don't want to get shut out the rest of the half, and then Perry Meridian gets the ball first to start the second half, and then comes back and gets a touchdown, takes a 2-possession lead. That would be very hard, to come back from. Not impossible. I mean, Plainfield did last year. They came from behind in the fourth quarter in their last 3 wins. The regular season finale, they came down from 17-7 to beat Martinsville 21-17. Then in the first game of the playoffs, we came down. We came back from 28. We came back from being down 28-21 at Harrison to winning 35-28, and then in the sectional championship right here at Plainfield, we were down 10-0 in the fourth quarter, ended up winning 13-10. But I feel much better going into the second half here You know, with basically an even slate, and now we just have to get a stop here on the first possession when Perry Meridian gets the ball, and then come back and hopefully get the lead back. So it should not be a high pressure situation, but at the same time, we need to be playing with urgency as well. This is a very promising team. To further elaborate on something Rob said in the pregame segment, this is a team, that I believe has the potential to be the best of the, 12 years that I've followed Plainfield football, that I've been part of the commentary family here on AudioSportsOnline.com. And so far, I believe the best team is 2016. I think this team can end up being the best. They're not the best right now, but they have the potential to be. They just need to polish a few rough edges, and the main one is simply finishing drives, not leaving any points on the field. If they take care of that, I think they're going to have a good chance to make a deep tournament run. Now, there's still plenty of time to right things for the playoffs, but at the same time, next week, keep in mind, next week is the midway point of the regular season. So you don't want to get too complacent and think you have all the time in the world either. You've got to have that balance between being methodical and being urgent. So anyway, I think that as long as we continue to improve week to week the way we have, I think we'll get there. One thing that is good is that so far I have not seen regression. I've seen slight progression week to week, and thankfully we've stayed healthy. As long as we do that, I think we'll be okay. So what I want to see in the, I said last week in the post-game show at Mooresville, I wanted, we did about 30 good minutes. We played about 40 good minutes against Terre Haute South, about 30 good minutes against Harrison, about 43 or 44 good minutes against Mooresville. I wanted to see 48 this week against Perry Meridian. Well, we haven't played 24 good minutes out of 24. We probably played about 18 good minutes or so, but I want to see 24 good minutes in the second half to set up 48 good minutes next week for our homecoming against Greenwood, which now it looks like it's going to be a tougher game than we realized. As, like I said, Greenwood 1-9 last year in Mike Campbell's farewell season. All of a sudden, an unexpected 3-0 this year, while new head coach Justin Rosen has dramatically revamped their offense. So, anyway, right now we got 5:53 on the halftime clock. The Plainfield Marching Band is doing a very nice halftime show. And I'll tell you, when I went to high school in Madison, Indiana, down on the Ohio River between Louisville and Cincinnati, I went to Madison Consolidated High School, graduated in 1989, and I was in the marching band. And, I wasn't good enough to play sports, but I was good enough to play the mellophone. And, I remember we would go to competitions, and I was always, awestruck by the, really big bands like Plainfield has that could do these really spectacular shows. We were pretty limited in what we could do. We had about a 70-piece band. I mean, gosh, I think they have 12 xylophonists here and a couple of bass drummers, and they got about 15 or 16 flag girls. They're loaded. So, anyway, right now let's take a look at what the other Hendricks County teams are up to tonight. Starting in Class 6A, Rob's alma mater, Brownsburg, holds at number 2 this week after last week's 35-21 home win over currently 14th-ranked Franklin Central, who moved up to 2 notches on the strength of their surprisingly good performance in the game. Brownsburg and Plainfield are now the only 2 undefeated teams in the county, and tonight the Bulldogs visit the only other winless team. Tonight the Bulldogs visit the only winless team in the county, the Avon Orioles. Last week Avon lost 42-23 at currently 4th-ranked Hamilton Southeastern. The Orioles are still looking for their first win under new head coach Rob Gibson, who came over after going 22-3 in 2 years at Owen Valley, replacing the retired Mark Bless, whose son, of course, Tyler Bless, is the new head coach at Plainfield. So The elder Coach Bless likely in attendance tonight. I know he was for the Terre Haute South game 3 weeks ago. And then in Class 3A, Tri-West drops a notch to number 10 this week despite a 56-0 road win over the Frankfurt Hot Dogs. The 2-1 Bruins played their third consecutive road game tonight at number 4 and 3-0 Western Boone. The Stars have won a state championship in 3 of the last 5 seasons. Also in Class 3A, Danville drops a notch despite a win. They're at number 18 after a 28-26 home win over Lebanon. Tonight, the 2-1 Warriors should get an easy win as they visit the 0-3 Crawfordsville Athenians. And finally, in Class 2A, the Cascade Cadets got a huge home win over the Edgewood Mustangs by a score of 63-2. That's 63-2. Cascade has now won 2 consecutive games and should make it 3 tonight as they host the Cloverdale Clovers, who also enter the game at 2-1, but their 2 wins came against weaklings Edinburgh and Brown County. So now we've got 2:45 to go on the pregame clock, and I haven't talked much about the crowd tonight, but they got a really nice crowd here in Plainfield. We've got the home bleachers largely filled. I think we got about 2,000 fans over here, and then we got about 200 fans in the visiting bleachers across the field who made the trip up from South Central Indianapolis. Perry Meridian, one of 2 schools in the Mid-State Conference, who is located within the city of Indianapolis. Of course, Decatur Central being the other. That will be our next road game 2 weeks from tonight, a game that I'm already immensely excited about. After having their first losing season last year in 10 years, Decatur Central now is back on track. Last week, they were ranked number 4 in the AP poll. They dropped to number 9 this week after losing to Whiteland 31-15. Ironically, the same score that Plainfield beat Mooresville by. Whiteland, on the strength of the victory, moved up from number 6 to number 4, while Plainfield moved up from number 8 to number 6. So 3 teams now from the Mid-State Conference in the top 9 in Class 5A. So very good conference. And now the PA system playing the Earth, Wind, and Fire Classic September, going back to the glorious year of 1979, one of my personal favorite years in music. And you know, my son Liam, I'm 52 to put this in perspective. My son Liam is 18. And you know, one thing that's really interesting about today's generation is, you know, of course they still have pop radio they can listen to pick up the trends of the day, but now they can get online and just discover all kinds of stuff from the history of recorded music. And my son Liam likes a very wide variety of music, including some that predates me. And a lot of his favorites are the R&B acts of the 70s. Earth, Wind, and Fire, one of them. He was excited when this song came on. He also likes James Brown, Bill Withers. The only sad thing about it is that a lot of the artists who he's becoming a fan of are already dead, or at least a lot of the members of the groups are, so he's not able to hear, you know, new music that they do or see them in concert. But nevertheless, it is great that those artists left a lot of great music behind that we're still able to enjoy this day. You know, just last night, I heard on the CBS Evening News that some of Freddie Mercury's items were auctioned. You know, Freddie Mercury would have turned 77 years old this week on Tuesday. And yesterday I learned on the news that the paper on which he wrote the original lyrics for Bohemian Rhapsody sold for $1.7 million. So, you know, it's, you know, Freddie left this life way too young, 32 years ago at the age of only 45. But, you know, so much of what he accomplished is still with us to enjoy, thankfully. And piece of trivia, they said in the news broadcast, an original title of Bohemian Rhapsody was Mongolian Rhapsody, which was an oddity. Of course, I don't think the song particularly sounds either Bohemian or Mongolian, but anyway, you know.
Oh, Leck, you're something else. It is Rob Kendall, Leck Zorn. We're coming to you tonight from Plainfield High School, where the Quakers are tied with the Perry Meridian Falcons, 14 apiece. And we've got about 2 minutes up on our clock before we begin the second half. Both teams scored twice. Both teams made a 2-point conversion. Both teams missed a 2-point conversion. And that is where you got to the 14 points. Perry Meridian will have the football to begin the second half. And we will see if the Plainfield defense, who's given up a couple big plays, we will see if they can step up here in the second half.
Well, indeed, Rob, I think this is going to be a very critical drive for our defense. The main thing is just don't give up the big play, force them to earn every yard, and then just, the main thing, don't let them get any points, and then when we get the ball, just focus. Focus and play like we did on drives 1 and 4, and I think we'll be okay, and we'll come back, we'll get the lead back. I shouldn't say come back because we're tied, but now we just got to get the lead back. So 53 seconds and counting on the halftime clock. And, last year during one of our broadcasts, Rob pointed out something that I'd noticed, but I'd never thought to voice it in a broadcast before. He mentioned how he thinks it's odd that they run the halftime clock down to 0 and then put an additional 3 minutes on. I never understood that either, even though I'd noticed it for many years. Tonight is my 123rd varsity football broadcast. Also done dozens of freshman and JV broadcasts and probably a couple hundred or so basketball games, mainly high school. Also last year, Rob and I broadcast the Indiana Lions of the American Basketball Association, a minor pro league. I was glad to see that the Lions ended up becoming the co-champions of the league this year. And had a lot of fun doing those games. And now they got the clock set for 12 minutes here. And I'll tell you, last week also, another thing that was really heartwarming to me, I think it was probably the biggest road crowd I'd ever seen at a Plainfield game that I commentated. I think they had about 500 people in the visiting bleachers over there at Mooresville, and about 100 or so in the standing room. Great that so many Plainfield fans went over there to see that big win. Great way to start off Labor Day weekend. Hope you all did have a great Labor Day weekend, by the way. And every year I keep saying this, as much as I enjoyed that 3-day weekend, get a last dose of summer. Still miss Jerry Lewis. But,
the Labor Day telethon. yeah, that was a big deal. All right, so Plainfield will kick it off. Perry Meridian will receive the kick. They'll move from left to right on your computer screen or radio dial. 12 minutes up on the clock to begin the third quarter. Again, I'm Rob Kendall. He's Lex Zorn. We're coming to you tonight from Plainfield High School, where the 3-0 Quakers are tied with the Falcons of Perry Meridian at 14.
So it's like a 2-quarter game tied at 0. So let's get this, boys.
Squib kick on the ground, rolling out of bounds. That's not a good start. I don't know if he meant to do that or not, but he didn't mean to kick it there, and it'll go out of bounds. It'll be really good field position for Plainfield, or for Perry Meridian against Plainfield. First down and 10 for the Falcons. Ball will sit at the 35-yard line.
Alan Zupin, the quarterback for the Falcons, a little bit undersized at 5'9", 175. But a very strong young competitor who now in his second season as a starter. But, there are undersized quarterbacks who can make it. Colin Nicewander, who as a junior and senior in 2014 and 15 was the starter for the Quakers. He was 5'10", 165, which is almost exactly my height. Maybe that's why one of the hold that thought.
Two receivers to the right, left, one to the right for the Falcons, and the give is the lone man in the backfield. He is going to be hit, and he is going to be dropped, and that was number 5, Hunter, with the run that time, and it was number 28 for the Quakers on the tackle in the backfield, Aiden Crouch.
So now the 2-yard loss there, good way to start the drive for the Quakers. We are tied here to start off the third quarter, 14-14. Each team has led once. Each team has 2 touchdowns, 1 successful 2-point conversion, 1 unsuccessful.
2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right, 1 man in the backfield. Snap back to pass. Steps up, throwing, little screen pass caught, far side of the field. Host of Quakers in there on the tackle that time. And the receiver will get back to the initial line of scrimmage of the 35, maybe the 36. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 9.
Well, it was Byron Hahn with another reception, but only got 3 yards out of it. So come on, boys. No excuse for not getting him off the field now. Get him off the field, then let's get the ball back and get a score, get the lead back. Third and 9 here, 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left.
Working out of the shotgun. Snap, back to pass. Steps up, throwing down the field. It is incomplete. Great
No
coverage
flags,
that
no
time in the
flags.
Plainfield secondary, including number 7. Again, we've called his name several times tonight, Carter Ferguson in there on the defense. And Will Freeman also in there as well. So 3 and out.
Just what I wanted. Short of an interception return for a touchdown or something like that. So now the Quakers will get the ball with a chance to take the lead. Let's do it, boys.
Snap is high, but taken down. Kick is away. It's a high kick, pretty short. It'll hit at the 40. It'll take a Perry Meridian bounce,
big bounce
inside the 30, and they'll put it down at the 27. So good. Now, again, Plainfield had that earlier, similar thing. Not a great kick, but a good roll. And so it'll be 1st and 10 for the Plainfield Quakers.
Okay, so now we just got to play our game. Stay focused. I mean, the one thing, like I said, I loved on that 4th drive, the only drive in which we've played from behind in this game, we were focused, we were urgent. Let's play the same way. So 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right, 1 running back. Newell in shotgun. Gives it off to Starnes. He's got some room past the 30, past the 35, up to, he might have another 1st down. It's going to be close.
Boy, a couple of big runs from Starnes tonight. And, of course, he had that one. He scampered in for the touchdown in the first half. He's done a really nice job of avoiding contact at the line of scrimmage.
And they give him credit for 11 there, so it is a 1st down. I have him 11 for 95 and a touchdown. Now the touchdown coming from 46 yards.
Working out of the gun is Newell. 2 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Snap, screen pass, caught, near side of the field, little bubble screen, and he'll turn it up, get a couple yards on the play. Marcos Rivera on the catch that time.
I'll tell you, and they give him credit for 3 there. But, and that's Rivera's 1st reception. He's the 4th Quaker to catch a pass. 2nd and 7 now at the Plainfield 41, 59 yards away from the lead.
Snap, gives straight ahead. Nice job by Starnes to bounce it to the far side of the field. Gain of about 4 or 5. And again, he's got great vision there at the line of scrimmage. He doesn't hit the hole. He waits to see the hole develop, and then if he doesn't, he bounces it to the outside. And now a very manageable 3rd and 3-ish from the 46.
So they convert this, boys. Got our own 45. 9:12 to go and counting here in the 3rd quarter. Game tied at 14. Starnes, not a flashy player at all, but so darn solid and efficient. He gets the job done in a big way.
Give again to Starnes, and he scampers ahead. He leans forward. Again, the initial hole not there. Cut it back, and he's very close to a 1st down. They will give it to him.
Yes.
So he got it by, a little bit, maybe a half a football. And it'll be 1st down and 10 for Plainfield up at the 48.
I thought he was just short, but they gave it to him. So now the Quakers 52 yards away from getting the lead back. They're tied at 14 now. 8:43 to go and counting in the 3rd quarter.
Split back formation, 2 receivers to the left, 1 man to the right. Working out of the gun. Snap back to pass. Newell has time. Throws to the far side of the field off the hands of Bowie. And, boy, he's having a rough night out there tonight. That's about the 3rd or 4th time it seems like that ball's hit him in the hands.
Yeah, I know. Got to start making some of those. That's obviously something they're going to have to work on in practice. But it's still only 2nd down. They're still in good shape here.
Ball up at the 48. 8:32 left to go in the 3rd. We're tied at 14. Plainfield moving from right to left on your computer screen. Snap. Give. Little cut back across midfield. Body's pushing him down after a gain of about 5. And I believe that was Rivera on the run that time. No.
7.
Carter Ferguson.
Ferguson, yeah, with I believe his first.
We haven't called his name much on offense tonight. Obviously, defensively we have.
Yeah, I believe that was his first carry of this game, and as I emphasize, it's not Ferguson. It's Fergerson, Fergerson, and that threw me off at first too.
2 to the left, 2 men to the right. Shotgun snap, play action. Newell rolls, throws, got a man caught. It's across the first down marker and down at the inside the 40. First down and 10 coming up for Plainfield. I believe that was number 3 that time, Isaiah Miller with the catch.
That's going to be a pickup of 12 yards there. Miller's 4th reception of the game. He's having a very quietly effective senior season. Hopefully it'll be enough to get him a college scholarship. So 2 receivers to the left and 1 to the right. Now handoff to Starnes. He breaks through. He gets a hold of the middle, gets up for about 6. So Starnes being given a little breather there by Ferguson. Now gets the ball back, picks up 6. It's over 100 yards. Now he's hit 100 yards in 3 of our 4 games, and he's gotten a touchdown and 1 touchdown in each of our 4 games.
2 receivers to the left, 1 man to the right, 2 men in tight in the backfield. Snap, gives to Starnes, cuts it back, left side, picks up about, boy, they didn't give him a very good spot, gets down to the 34, so it'll bring up 3rd down and about long 2, short 3 coming up for Plainfield. 6:57 and counting. Plainfield's done a nice job on this drive, Leck, of some ball control, clock control.
Yes, absolutely. You know, they've kept the clock. I don't think we've had, except for the first downs, I don't think, well, there was the other one incomplete pass. I think that was the only time that the clock stopped except for to move the chains. So that's the way to do it. You want to leave as little time as possible for the Falcons.
Newell out of the gun. High snap. Rolls right side, throws on the run, got a man caught wide open inside the 25, and that was number 24, Elijah Flowers on the far side of the field, coming out of the backfield. And if you look at that, Leck, he just came across the field from the left side, caught the ball on the right side, and on the run was able to run it inside the 25-yard line.
Yeah, so 10-yard pickup there by Flowers. So now we're, knocking on the door here. So now 5 different Quakers have caught a pass tonight. And 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. 2 running backs now, 6:29 to go and counting.
Out of the gun, snap, back to pass. Steps up, throws on the run, got a man caught. That's Bowie. He's got it that time, turns the Jets on, and is able to barrel inside the 15. And will they give him a first down or not? That's the question. No signal yet. Looks like they're going to put him just short. It'll bring up now they will move the chains. Now they will move the chains, so it is a first down inside the 15 at the 14-yard line. 6:21 left to go in the 3rd quarter.
Hopefully that'll be a good confidence builder for Bowie because he's dropped, like you said, about 3 passes tonight that, just hit him right on the hands. So 6:14 to go now and counting here in the 3rd quarter. Plainfield 14 yards away from getting the lead back. Gives it to Starnes, up to the 10. He's got a hole, spins around up to about the 8. Now he might have gotten up to the 7 or 6. We'll see what kind of spot they give him, but
nice job, boy. Starnes is, I think you'd say, thus far, Starnes is the offensive MVP tonight, Leck. I mean, doing just a phenomenal job running the football.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they give him 8 there. So I have him 16 for 117 yards and 1 touchdown. And now the Quakers 6 yards shy of getting the lead back. We're tied now, 5:34 to go and counting here in the 3rd quarter.
Split back formation, snap, give to Starnes, drives ahead. He's inside the 5. Should be enough for a first down at the 3. It will be. And so it'll bring up 1st and goal for Plainfield with 5:23 left to go in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, they got the first. All right. So 1st and goal now at the 4. And we've used over 5 minutes on this drive also. So now we just got to finish it off. Finish it off and then, put all the pressure on them.
Working out of the gun. 1 man in the backfield is Starnes. 2 receivers to each side of the field. Man goes in motion from left to right. It's Bowie. Snap. Pass. Caught. He caught it that time, and he walks in uncontested. They have done that twice on this drive now, like where they moved a man in motion from left to right or just moved the guy across the field, and Perry Meridian did not detect it or cover it well either time, and it ended up being a touchdown. Bowie with the score, 20-14, 4:57 left to go in the third quarter.
Well, Jameer Bowie got 2 touchdowns in the opener at Terre Haute South when he turned a 13-0 deficit into a 32-13 win. Now that's his first touchdown since then. So that combined with the 10-yard reception earlier on the drive will hopefully give him his confidence back.
Now they are going to attempt an extra point, it looks like. Snap, spot, the kick is up, the kick is right down the middle, and the kick is good. Great kick that time by Cameron Grimes, and it is now a 21-14 affair, 4:57 left to go in the third. Let's thank our sponsors who are making our broadcast possible this year. CJ's Pizza, Whitlow's Towing, Canal Financial, Remax Centerstone, Julia Berberich, BGW Construction, Porter Hair Design, Holly Porter, My IT Indy, I-70 Wrecker Service and Garage, Ellis & Associates, Remax. Leck?
Well, back here at Plainfield, your Quakers have just regained the lead. They are now on a 13-0 run since they were down 14-8. They were down 14-8. Now they're up 21-14. They scored on a 46-yard rush by Luke Starnes with 2:34 to go in the third quarter, and now 2:34 to go in the second quarter. Now with 4:57 to go in the third quarter, they just scored on a 4-yard touchdown pass from Hunter Newell to Jameer Bowie. Cameron Grimes was good on the extra point. So not only did we get the score, but we consumed nearly half of the quarter in the process after Perry Meridian went 3 and out on their first possession of the half. They got the ball first to start the half.
Ball's taken on the run at the 15, across the 20. Hunter still going up near the 25, and he'll be taken down there. So with 4:52 left to go in the third quarter, Plainfield defense back on the field.
And one thing, I always talked about, how Colin Nicewander, the starting quarterback for Plainfield in 2014 and 2015, will always be one of my all-time favorite Quakers because he was such an overachiever, and he was my size. He was 5'10", 165, which is almost exactly what I am. And yet, he was such a smart player, very rarely made a mistake, and did a lot more than you'd expect from his talent. And I see a lot of that in Hunter Newell, too. This season, he doesn't have spectacular statistics, but 5 touchdowns, no interceptions, and that is priceless.
Working out of the gun, and it is back to that direct snap formation to number 13, Huckabee, and Huckabee drives forward. They've had a lot of success with that tonight, Leck, and Huckabee drives forward very near another first down.
Well, we got to, certainly watch him, and Huckabee does get 9 there. And, it'll be interesting to see. I was surprised they didn't go to Huckabee until late in the first quarter, because he like I said, averages 6 yards a rush on the season, 3 touchdowns. Also, low snap, but he gets it, and he goes over to the left side, and he does get the first and about 3 or 4 more.
Yeah, that's been a very just effective, that direct snap. Plainfield seems a little caught off guard with it throughout the ball game tonight. And as you said, like, he was able to pick up 3 or 4 that time, which was more than enough for a first down. Falcons of Perry Meridian trail it now 21-17 to your Plainfield Quakers with 4 minutes left to go in the third quarter.
Well, if we can just trip him up, get a yard or get a tackle or 2 for loss, and put them in a hole where they're induced to pass, that'll really put the game into our favor, especially if we take over and can run off a lot more of the clock with the lead.
Snap straight ahead and short gain that time on first down. They're just going to go with this direct snap formation here, Leck.
Well, they only got 2 on it that time, though, so that will bring up 2nd and 8. I'm surprised they went with it 3 times in a row. So now it's 2nd and 8 for the Falcons. They're throwing 40. 3:23 to go here in the third quarter at Plainfield. Your score, Plainfield 21, Perry Meridian 14. this if this score holds up, it will be the closest game that these two teams have ever played. Plainfield won all of the 5 previous meetings by at least 14 points each.
Snap back to pass. Looking, throwing, middle of the field. It is caught, picked off. Caught. What? Who got it? Did Perry Meridian end up with it? Boy, that was up for grabs, and Perry Meridian ended up with the jump ball that time. It is enough for a first down right at midfield, and I believe that was number 6 Hahn with the reception. Boy, that could have easily been. Vanderbush was in there on the tie-up, and unfortunately for Plainfield, it went to Perry Meridian.
Well, maybe we were just a little lax on covering the receivers after 3 consecutive rushes there by Huckabee. Nevertheless, great play by the Falcons to get their offense going again. And now a rush up the middle. That will be Warren there, who got a touchdown and a 2-point conversion earlier. They give him credit for 5 there.
So the ball will be down at the 45-yard line.
Second and 5 for the Falcons. 2:09 to go here in the third quarter. Plainfield trying to hang on for the win.
Throws it to the far side of the field over the arms of the intended receiver, number 6 Hahn. So now a 3rd down and 5 coming up for Perry Meridian.
It looked to me like there was some miscommunication there between Zupan and Hahn. So that brings up a very big 3rd and 5 for the Falcons. And now I believe that Perry Meridian has just taken its first time out here of the second half. Very, very critical 3rd down coming up right here. I know they want to make sure that, especially being in a 7-point hole and Plainfield having milked nearly half of the quarter on that last possession, Perry Meridian doesn't want to risk Plainfield getting the ball and having a chance to run another 5 or 6 minutes off the clock and take what would be a nearly insurmountable 2-touchdown or even just mere 2-possession lead in the fourth quarter. 1:57 to go now here in the third quarter. Oh, and I think there's actually, it looks like the Perry Meridian head coach is now talking to one of the officials here, so I'm not sure what the issue is. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. There was a Falcons player. It was out of Rob's and my vantage point, but right at the Plainfield sideline, Byron Hahn was injured, and now he is up, walking off the field groggily, but under his own power. So it's good to see. Hopefully that young man will be okay. Byron Hahn, a junior. They got him back for 1 more year. He should be a big college prospect. He was averaging 26 yards a reception coming into tonight. A very explosive player. He's had 7 receptions against us and a touchdown. Only 61 yards, however, so less than 9 a reception. So we are at least generally stopping him from getting the super long reception. So his touchdown did come from 18 yards. So now a big 3rd and 5 for the Quakers defense, trying to keep the lead here.
Out of the gun, direct snap. Takes it to the far side, cuts it back, 1st down and more. Number 13, Huckabee, that time once again. And the Plainfield defense can't get off the field. It'll be 1st and 10 for Perry Meridian.
So they got it inside the 40 now. That'll be another pickup of 7 yards for Huckabee. 1st and 10 now at the Plainfield 38, 1:41 to go and counting. Plainfield still with a 7-point lead. So one question: if Perry Meridian does get the touchdown, will they go for the 2 to take the lead? We'll see.
Snap, gives straight ahead, real tight formation that time, and Plainfield was totally ready for it as a big tackle. Oh, and a flag flies in late, and the Plainfield sideline is coming unglued. That was a terrible call.
I agree.
There's no way that he was trying to do anything intentional there. You've got to be kidding me.
I'll tell you, I just think that's too, there was no significant chance that Warren was going to get hit on that he was going to get seriously hurt on that.
Well, I mean, I guess they're saying Yeah, she played to the whistle, but I mean, my goodness, that's just
And
a horrible call.
And the player didn't even throw him down hard.
No, it looked like he tripped more than he was thrown down. Boy, terrible break for Plainfield that time.
God, I hope that doesn't cost us the game.
Just
so now,
awful. It's direct snap to Huckabee, and he's taken down by a host of Quakers.
didn't do as well on that one as he has on some of his rushes. They give him credit for 2 there. 2nd and 8 for the Falcons. Inside the last minute of the third quarter, Plainfield still leading by 7. Quakers going for their first 4-0 start in 17 years. They're in their first year under head coach Tyler Bless. The last time they went 4-0 to start a season, it was their last time they were under the first year of a new head coach. It was Brian Woodard back in 2006. The last time they won 4 games in a row at any point in the season, it was in 2008 when they won 8 games in a row from weeks 4 to 11. And now another Falcon injured. And that reminds me, I can't quite see his number from my vantage point, but last year, I think in that Plainfield at Perry Meridian game last year, a year ago tomorrow, I think it's the most injuries I've ever seen in one game. There were 7 play stoppages for injury, 6 of them for Perry Meridian, including their top 2 quarterbacks. Zupin, who was having a very good sophomore season, went out early about midway through the first quarter, and the team was very ineffective without him. So now they give it to Huckabee again. They trip him up around the line of scrimmage, but he plows his way forward for about 2 or 3 more.
So big third down coming up here, Leck. This could be the final play of the third quarter, depending on how it goes. The ball is down at the, what is that, the 17?
The 16.
Yeah, 16. It's 3rd and 5. Perry Meridian will need to run a play. It's 15 seconds on the play clock. Falcons break the huddle. Looks like they're going with that direct snap again to Huckabee.
Going to get a stop here, boys.
Snap, takes it right side, and he's got a big hole. He's got a first down and more, and he's inside the 10, and he just took it right off a right edge there, and it was wide open, all sorts of room for him to run. So that'll do it, I believe, for the final play of the third quarter.
It will, yeah. 10 yards there by Huckabee on that gain.
All right, so it'll be 1st and goal for Perry Meridian. When we come back, let's thank our sponsors, CJ's Pizza, Whitlow's Towing, Gannell Financial, Remax Centerstone, Julia Burbridge, BGW Construction, Porter Hair Design, Holly Porter, My IT Indy, I-70 Record Service and Garage, and Ellis and Associates Remax.
Well, back here at Plainfield, we're about to start the 4th quarter of this thrilling game with your Plainfield Quakers trying to hang on. They lead the Perry Meridian Falcons 21-14 here. However, the Falcons have the ball 1st and goal at the Plainfield 8. So anything can happen here. Each team has had, Plainfield led 8-0 before Perry Meridian scored a touchdown but missed a 2-point conversion, making it 8-6. Then they got a touchdown and made a 2-point conversion, making it 14-8. And finally, Plainfield, near the end of the first half, tied it at 14, but then missed what would have been the go-ahead 2-point conversion. Here in the third quarter, Plainfield took the lead back and hit a 1-point conversion, the only 1-point conversion attempted in the entire game. And now the Falcons knocking on the door of a touchdown that would give them a chance to either tie or take the lead with the conversion. We shall see. Hopefully they won't get the touchdown, but anyway, they've been doing a lot of direct snaps on this drive to running back Zach Huckabee, who is the leading rusher for the Falcons. So now starting off 1st and goal at the 7. First play of the 4th quarter.
Huckabee will give it on an end around, and he's going to walk into the end zone untouched for the score. I believe that was number 23, Isaiah Needham, and it was just a little end around. They gave the snap to Huckabee and untouched. So with 11:55 to go in the ball game, it's now a 21-20 affair, and let's see what Perry Meridian elects to do on the extra point conversion.
Well, yeah,
they're
we'll
going
see.
for it.
Well, so if we stop them here, then we will at least retain the lead. So we got to stop him here, boys.
So Zupin is back in, wishbone formation in the backfield. Snap, give, straight ahead, drives, breaks off one tackle, and he is going to be stopped short.
We stopped him.
He did not get it. It looked like he was going to lean into the end zone, and at the last second, a host of Quakers came up there to make the stop, and nice job by a bevy of Plainfield tacklers.
Meridian 20.
Boy, so we got the lead and the ball. 11:55 to go. Now let's just get the ball, milk the clock like a cow, and get a score.
I like that. Milk
Thank you.
the clock like a cow. I like that. I'm Rob Kendall. He's Lex Zorn. We're coming to you tonight from Plainfield High School. Don't forget, we'll have the Tyler Bless Show for you Sunday. Pretty good about getting those up on Sundays now.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So I'm always one of the first people to listen.
Our fan.
Yeah. So, I always, I always did it to the Coach Woodard shows as well. I think it just, I get both of those guys, are such great interview subjects, and they give a lot of information that's very useful to us commentators in the broadcast. So, anyway, 11:55 to go. Plainfield with a 1-point lead. Perry Meridian just scored what could have been the go-ahead touchdown. However, they missed the 1 point. They missed the 2-point conversion, and now the Quakers hopefully will get a score here. The best case scenario, they get a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. That would be a 9-point lead. In other words, a 2-possession lead, and we would be in the driver's seat. But the thing is, we got to just stay focused. This game has been too close for comfort. And thing is, if we had converted a couple of early possessions, we would have already virtually clinched this one. So the finishing drives has got to be our main priority, and now Vanderbush at 30, 40, 45, almost up to the 50. I thought for a second he might take it back for another touchdown. What an amazing achievement that would be. But nevertheless, Caden Vanderbush, 1 touchdown each of the last 3 games. 2 weeks ago, it was a reception. Last week, a kickoff return for 99 yards. This week, a reception again. Showing why he's headed to play for a Division 1A school, the Western Michigan Broncos, next year. Big brother Cale, of course, at the University of Iowa. It's great to see so many collegiate Quakers.
So here we go. Newell working out of the gun. Snap. Give to Starnes. Big hole. Across the 50. Leans ahead across midfield. Down to about the 48. And that'll be a gain of about 5 yards, 6 yards maybe on first down.
Give him credit for 5 there. So Starnes, I have him 18 for 124 and a touchdown. He has 4 touchdowns, 1 in each game. Now they're sending Bowie and Rivera out to the left. And now we've got Hendry in the backfield. He's gotten some 2-point conversions for us. He's a fullback type player. And I believe Starnes is still in there. Newell in shotgun.
Give again is to Starnes. Snakes his way past the initial line of scrimmage and then leans forward. Gain of maybe a yard. Not much doing that time. A big third down coming up for Plainfield. Inside of 11 minutes left to go in the football game.
Tackled by 32, Andy Warren. Third down.
Give him credit for 1 there. So a big 3rd and 4. Now, if we don't get this, I would imagine we would punt, try to get the Falcons deep in their own territory, but we will see. Hopefully it won't come to that. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right, 2 running backs now.
Snap back to pass. Newell, a little bubble screen. Got a man caught. It's Starnes. Takes it to the far side, and boy, that went nowhere. Problem with that one, like they caught the ball so far behind the line of scrimmage that by the time he was able to run, he had to run so far to get back to the initial line that it gave the defense time to catch up.
Yeah, and, I think it would have been better if you just, just batted it to the ground. So Starnes' first reception of the game goes for a -1. So now the Quakers looks like will punt, try to pin the Falcons inside the 10. 9:51 to go and counting. Disappointing drive, especially after the big kickoff return by Vanderbush down to the Plainfield 47. We failed to get a first down after that.
High snap. It is tracked down. Kick is away. Good kick. It'll hit at the 10. It'll bounce inside the 5. Can they get there and save it? What happened? That's a live ball. All sorts of chaos there. The ball went into the end zone. He threw it to the Perry Meridian player who caught the ball and then ran back into the end zone and then ran out of the end zone, and I'm not sure what they called here.
I'm not either. That was weird. That's one time you wish that we had high school. And now one of the Quakers was just calling for a safety.
Well, I mean, he ran into the end zone. It looked like, I mean, obviously we're way far away here, and who knows what a replay would show, but it looked like they were allowing the play to go forward when the Plainfield player flipped it to the Perry Meridian player at the 1, and then he proceeded to run backwards into the end zone and then run forward, and somehow they called that a touchback out of that, but they did not signal touchback when he flipped that ball to the Perry Meridian player, which is what Tyler Bless is asking. He's saying, well, what's the call here?
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of the people here, including us, are confused.
And maybe it looks like the official kind of told him he was in the end zone, but they did not call that. There was no signal when that Plainfield player went into the end zone from the official. They were allowing that play to continue. So another questionable call by the officials here tonight.
And this is the most booing I've ever heard, I think, from the Plainfield fans.
Rolling right side, Zupin on the run, throws, and it is incomplete. Far side of the field, Hahn, the intended receiver.
Well, hopefully we'll get no worse than a 3-and-out here. Get the ball back and just milk some more of the clock. 2nd and 10 now, 9:24 to go. Plainfield with a 1-point lead. They also, their first home game 2 weeks ago against Harrison was also a 1-point win, 15-14. Maybe history will repeat itself tonight. I'd like it to be a little more comfortable like it was last week when we beat Mooresville by 16.
Perry Meridian is much improved as a program.
Oh, big time, yeah.
Snap, back to pass. Zupin has time. He's going to air it out down the field, and it is going to be incomplete.
All right.
Great defense on the far side of the field that time by the cornerback. I believe that was number 10 for Plainfield, Will Freeman. We've called his name several times tonight. Doing a very nice job.
And, you know, Rob, I questioned the play calling. I mean, you know, they were having so much success with the direct snaps to Huckabee. Most of them were going for at least 4 or 5 yards. And now they throw 2 low percentage passes downfield, and they go from 1st and 1 to third, from 1st and 10 to 3rd and 10.
Well, and it's interesting because as soon as you say that, now they've got Huckabee back on the field, although he appears to be the running quarterback, not the passing one. And he's got a quarterback keeper, and he's off to the races, and he's going to be short of the first down. Big burst of energy, but Plainfield came up, made the stop at the 29. They need to get to the 30, so let's see what Perry Meridian elects to do here. 4th down and short from deep in their own territory. To look like no doubt about this one, they are going for it.
Oh, boy.
So a potentially game-altering play here. And there's the snap, and he is going to be, where's the signal? No signal. Where's the ball?
They got
no
it.
signal.
They got it. They got the first.
Oh, they did. Okay, very good. Well, not very good, but
yeah,
I'm glad you saw it.
Yeah.
So it wasn't by much.
So 8:45 to go now and counting. We need to stop here, boys. And I'll tell you, it's very, very disappointed that we didn't get them off the field when it was 3rd and 10. We're letting them hang in there too long. This is not good. And now Zupin throws deep, and it's going to be nowhere close, incomplete. So
right.
Now, Zupin, I don't understand why he's thrown deep now 3 times, and he was never close to a reception. And
Yeah, you would think that as well as they've run that direct snap to Huckabee tonight, that they would be doing more of that, but luckily for Plainfield, they haven't, although as soon as we say that, Huckabee back in the ball game.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here.
Takes the snap, and he's going to give it on an end around. Some room to run that time. And number 23, the ball carrier, is Needham. And Needham's up to about the 30, 36. There's a flag. Was there a flag? Oh, it looked like a flag. Yeah, it is, and it's going to be on Plainfield. Whatever it was, I didn't. Well, no one's going to be accusing these referees of being homers tonight because they have made their presence known with a personal foul face mask. Boy, that's not good.
Yeah, and if Plainfield loses this game, then you got to point to some of these, really 3 questionable calls.
And now snap to Huckabee's hit, breaks the tackle. They had him in the backfield, and a gain of about 4 or 5. Number 7 for Plainfield, Ferguson, came up, hit him in the backfield, but Huckabee's a big kid, and a gain of about 6 on first down to the 42.
Give him 6 that time. Huckabee listed at 5'10", 185.
Plainfield really needs a big play here on defense. I know that's like
we do, absolutely.
Of course they do, sort of thing to say, but now would be an excellent time for one of those big plays.
And now quarterback sneak, I think that was Zupin, and that was Huckabee again, excuse me. Very close to the first down if he doesn't actually have it.
No signal yet. Looks like it's going to be just short, down to the 30. Now they'll finally change it. Yeah, they took their time on that. 7:22 left to go in the ball game.
Very tense finish here. Boy, it'd be, a very big disappointment after the 3-0 start to lose to Perry Meridian. 2 receivers to the right now. Low snap.
Boy, they are just getting, as Huckabee with the keeper that time, and he picked up about 5 or 6 yards again. They're just running the same play basically every time, and Plainfield just kind of getting blown off the ball at the line of scrimmage. Ball's down to the 33. They need to get to the 28 for the first down, so a gain of 5 on first down.
We got 3 timeouts. Maybe we ought to start taking some timeouts and figure out, how to make some adjustments. I mean, because so far, he's easily getting, 5+ yards a carry. Yeah, and they only need 3.4.
Man goes in motion from left to right. Little edge play to Needham, and Needham's got a first down, turns the corner. He's inside the 20, and a host of Quakers will wrap him up there. Now, Laundry on the field, though, back at the 33. Plainfield signaling it's on Perry Meridian.
Yes, it is, yes.
Holding against the Falcons, so big break that time. Went from would have been 1st and 10 to now 2nd and long.
Yeah, now we've got to take advantage of that. 6:20 to go in the 4th quarter. We trail. We lead by 1.
Yeah, and again, want to thank the entire athletics staff out here at Plainfield High School. I always appreciate all the years they've been taking care of us. Tori Rodkey, the athletic director, Scott Ollinger, the superintendent, all the fine folks, Principal Patrick Cooney. All these years, they've made it possible for us to broadcast year number 16. And we can't thank them enough.
Yeah, hopefully 16 and many more to come. And now a 2nd and 15, so we got to take advantage of this. We can't let them convert here.
Zupin back in the ball game. Snap, quick drop, throws, little screen, and it's incomplete. And
right.
He got alligator arms that time. That was number 12 for Perry Meridian, Jalen Young. He felt the Plainfield corner coming. That time it was number 7, Carter Ferguson, and he was closing in, and he didn't want any part of that.
And Ferguson, you could tell he was trying to get the interception return for the touchdown, which would have been a huge momentum swing, but still 3rd and 15. 3rd and 15 for the Falcons at the Plainfield 43. No excuse for not getting him off the field here. No excuse. 6:03 to go. Fans stomping on the bleachers, encouraging this defense. Come on, boys. Make the play of your lives right here.
And now Plainfield's going to have to probably spend a timeout. Or no, it's going to be Perry Meridian spending the timeout.
Yes.
They had a guy, that was Hahn, running to the far side of the field as a receiver, and there was no Plainfield player on him, so the Quakers might have caught a break there. Again, let's thank our sponsors one final time here tonight who made our broadcast possible all year long. And they include CJ's Pizza, Whitlow's Towing, Goodell Financial, Remax Centerstone, Julia Burbridge, BGW Construction, Porter Hair Design, Holly Porter, My IT Indy, I-70 Wrecker Service and Garage, Ellis and Associates, Remax. So if you're just tuning in tonight, Rob Kendall, Lex Zorn here at Plainfield High School. The Quakers lead it with 6 minutes to go in the ball game by a score of 21-20. And this is a big 3rd down and 15 coming up for the Perry Meridian Falcons.
The game could hinge on this place. 5:59 to go now. We just got to stop them from getting 15 yards.
You've got to think if you're Perry Meridian and you get it anything within reason, it's going to be 4-down territory. So it's actually,
yeah.
you know, it's not a thing where Plainfield can just play a prevent defense here.
No,
you
no,
want to get
no.
them. You want to get them in a punt position here, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, you got to make sure it's 4th and long. I think they probably would go for it because they already went for it at their own 29 on this drive. But anyway, we'll see. Let's go.
All right, out of the under center, snap, play action. Zupin, back to pass, flushed out. He's going to roll, cuts it back, hit and drop from behind.
Yes. All right.
Might have got the initial line of scrimmage, not much more. And now big decision time here for Perry Meridian because they are very near midfield. You would think they would send the punt unit on, but I haven't seen any sign of it yet.
Man, boy, did we need a stop like that.
And the big one on that is it keeps the clock running as we are now inside of 5:30 to go. And at this point in the ball game, Perry Meridian still has 2 of their 3 timeouts left, but clock begins to become an issue in this ball game. So the ball's at the 42. They need to get to the 30, the 28, and now Perry Meridian will burn another timeout.
All right.
So big break again for Plainfield.
All right. So now we just, tense conclusion to this game. 5:14 to go. Perry Meridian trailing by 1. 4th and 14 at their own 42. I would imagine they will go for this, but now all of a sudden they've used 2 timeouts. And Rob, you know, you've just got to wonder about that play calling because almost every play, I have Huckabee 15 rushes, 93 yards, so that's averaging over 6 a carry, and when he's averaged 6 a carry on the season. And Plainfield, I think, has stopped him under 3 yards maybe once, maybe twice the whole game out of 15 carries. You've got to wonder why they've thrown so many long passes when they haven't had much success with that. And if they lose the game, that could be a big point in it.
Now Huckabee back down under center. Now looks like they're in a punt formation. They are. It is a kick. There's nobody back now. It's a sprint to get down the field and try to down this ball. It's inside the 5, and it will be downed at the 2. So by that standard, it worked perfect.
Yeah.
Great job. Great execution. However, they burned 2 timeouts in that process on that drive, Leck, which is really going to hurt you if Plainfield can pick up a couple first downs.
Yes, exactly. And of course, what the thing is, more than usual, we got to guard against the safety because a safety gives Perry Meridian the lead.
If you were going to punt, this is what I understand. If you were going to punt, that's fine. I think everybody would agree with that. But why did you need to burn a timeout in order to get to the decision you're going to punt? And they burned a bunch of time on top of it.
Yeah, so, you know, it's a very mixed drive for Perry Meridian. They had a lot of success running with Huckabee, but a lot of questionable long passes in there. So now the main thing is just avoid the safety.
Quarterback sneak. He will drive forward up to about the 4. So like you said, Leck, just really trying to avoid the safety, give themselves a little bit of breathing room there, and it'll bring up 2nd down and 9. They actually put that ball down at the 3. So Newell was able to drive forward, pick up another yard, and the clock continues to run. So really, with the 1 timeout left, if you can pick up 2 first downs here, that's the ball game.
Certainly, at least it would be very close to it. So I was hoping we'd get a little more yardage there, get a little more out of the danger zone. But like I said, we can't have the safety.
Now Newell's going to work out of the shotgun. Snap, give us to Starnes, and he breaks 1 tackle, drives ahead, gets to the 5. He was actually pinned in the backfield, was able to get up to the 5, and now with 4:15 to go, a big 3rd down and 8 coming up for Plainfield. They'll say 7 on the board, so we'll go with them.
So 4:09 to go. So, boy, if we could just get this 1 first down, it would get not only get us out of the danger zone, but we could go a long way toward milking the clock. Under 4 minutes now. 3rd and 7.
Snap back to pass. Newell has time, fires. It is hit and dropped and no flag, and Plainfield is livid over no pass interference call. The Bowie was the intended receiver, and that defensive back for Perry Meridian made a play on the receiver and not the ball, and no penalty.
So now the Quakers punting from their end zone, a very dangerous play.
So, yeah, very likely good field position coming for Perry Meridian as number 97 Grimes with 3:43 left to go. Set to kick it away. Snap is clean. Kick is away. It's an end-over-end kick. Fair signal called for and made back at about the 37. So Perry Meridian's going to need at least a couple first downs to be able to try what could be a game-winning field goal. Plainfield, keep in mind, still has all 3 of their timeouts left.
Well, now, it all comes down to the Perry Meridian defense. I mean, the Plainfield defense, excuse me. The Quakers have just got to, just stop them. And I've got a feeling that the Falcons are going to give it to Huckabee, but we'll see. They've made some, head-scratching decisions on offense here.
Yeah, Huckabee takes the snap. It's a little end around and a big hole, and he's off to the races. He's inside the 20, all the way down to the 19. And so now Plainfield's going to have to play a clock management game as first down for Perry Meridian on that little end around. That was number 18, Neffel, rather, we've called it his name throughout the night. And now Perry Meridian easily inside of, you would think, a field goal range, although, well, actually, I don't know that for sure, Leck.
Yeah, I don't know. Hold on. I don't think they've attempted a field goal.
Direct snap to Huckabee, and he is going to be hit and pulled back, and he'll be down at the 18. Now, if you're Tyler Bless, and obviously I know he handles the offense, not the defense, but if you're Tyler Bless here, or the defensive coordinator, defensive coaching staff, don't you consider putting an extra guy up in the box here? I mean, they're probably going to run the football. They've effectively run the football throughout the evening. Still seems like those corners and the safety are playing a little deep back there, and I'd like to see them get some more guys up on the line of scrimmage. Snap, it is Huckabee again. He's going to stretch it to the near side of the field, tries to hop over a Plainfield defender, and a nice tackle that time by Ferguson. And Ferguson able to take him down. Short gain on the play. A big 3rd down and 6 coming up.
Come on, boys. It's got to stop here.
Yeah, I guess we're going to find out, Leck, what sort of kicking game if the Falcons indeed don't get a first down here, what they've got at their arsenal.
I believe that they have. I'll try to find time to pull up the stats, but I believe they have not gotten a field goal all season.
Huckabee takes the snap. He's going to keep it. Little indirect run. He is hit. He's still driving. He's going to be well short of the first down, so that will put him down at the 14-yard line. Plainfield not using a timeout here. I'm a little surprised by that. They are going to send the field goal unit on, so here we go. Number 30, the kicker for Perry Meridian. That's going to be Thuong Kungdot. No, sorry, Kungdot Thuong is the name of the kicker.
Field goal. I don't know what his range is. I don't think.
Kungdot Thuong, the kicker. And now a whistle. And now Plainfield's going to use a timeout. Man, they lost a lot of time there, Leck, waiting on that.
Yeah.
I mean, about 30 seconds burned off there. And Plainfield, especially if indeed they are able to, Thuong is able to make this kick.
Well,
you're going to need that.
As far as the whole icing the kicker thing, I have no idea if it works or not.
Let's face it. I mean, if it's a pro, what is this going to be? This is going to be about a 35-ish. No, it's not going to be that long. It's going to be a 32-ish yard kick. If you're shorter than that. It's going to be a 30-yard kick. That's an automatic for a professional kicker.
Okay.
College, it's a little bit less automatic, but still pretty good odds. It's a high school kid, so you never know. Only one way to find out, right, Leck?
Yeah, and by the way, Perry Meridian has not attempted a field goal all year long. They've only attempted 2 PATs. Both were no good.
All right, here we go. Center of the field. Snap, spot, the kick
Yes!
is low,
Yes!
and it's no
yes!
good.
We're going to win it! We're going to win it! Yes!
Boy, that was a disaster from the word go. It was a low snap, and the kick was not very high, and somebody might have got a hand in on it too. And looks like Plainfield is going to hang on and win this ball game tonight.
Oh, my God. They don't make it easy on our hearts, but we can't help but love them. So Plainfield will start off 4-0 for the first time in 17 years. Last time, it was the first year of a new head coach, Brian Woodard. Now it's the first year of a new head coach, Tyler Bless. And also our first 4-game winning streak at any point in the season in 15 years. Oh, my God, that was a heart stopper, but we survived. So,
yeah, so Plainfield comes in ranked number 6. They'll likely hold on to that ranking as we head towards next week and homecoming against Greenwood. There's the first knee from Hunter Newell. And
Rob, think about it. Our last 3 home games, the 2 home games ago was the sectional championship last year. We were down 10-6, then we won on that 19-yard touchdown pass from Hunter Newell to Noah Hessung with 1.3 seconds left to pull it out. Then our next home game 2 weeks ago, we beat Harrison by 1. Tonight against Perry Meridian, we win again by 1. So that's our last 3 home games. We won by a total of 5 points.
yeah, it's just amazing Plainfield's ability to win close games, and they've done just such a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
As you said, like dating back to about midway through last year when they kind of turned it on.
Yeah.
And obviously into this year, and they are 2 knees away basically from winning this football game.
Yeah, and so Plainfield now, when you count last year, they've now won 7 of their last 8. They won. They beat Martinsville, and then in the playoffs, Harrison and Decatur Central lost to Whiteland in the regional. Now they've won 4 games to start off this season. So this is their first time winning 7 of 8 since 2008. So a lot of milestones being set. And then next week, we got Greenwood comes to town for homecoming. That's going to be a tough one. Greenwood enters the game they entered tonight's game against Mooresville at 3-0. Clearly much improved over last year's 1-9. New coach Justin Rosen, having turned the Woodmen into one of the most rushing teams having turned the Woodmen from one of the most rushing teams in the state to one of the most successful passing teams in the state in 1 year. It's been an incredible turnaround. We better be ready.
Yeah, now they're trying to do some clock management here to ensure they don't have to run another play. And now Newell will get under center. And there's the snap, and there's the knee, and that will be the ball game. Yeah, so they will not have to run another play. Good clock management that time by Tyler Bless. Boy, he is screaming at that official. I don't know what that's about. He is really upset at that official, which that's wild to go off of the win. And he is still barking at that official. Boy, he is very upset.
Well, and you think, imagine what it would be like if we had lost.
Well, I don't know if that's another play or something that happened on the previous play because there was some pushing and shoving going back there. But he is not happy. But we are happy because Plainfield wins it tonight. I'll ask him on the coaches show what that's all about.
I was about to suggest that. Yes.
Yeah, 21-20. Your final. Plainfield moves to 4-0. Lek, your final thoughts on tonight's game?
Well, it was much too close for comfort. But we made the plays we needed to when it counted, and this is one of those games. It's more relief and jubilation rather than thinking that we played the best that we could have. We played well in spots. Also left about 2 touchdowns on the field. We still, I'm thankful for the win. I'm thankful for the 4-0 start. I'm thankful for the 2 thrilling home wins, the 2 thrilling 1-point wins at home. But next week we've got Greenwood coming into town, 3-0 coming into tonight, one of the turnaround stories of the year. So what I want to see next week against Greenwood is 48 minutes of good football, leave no points on the field. I'm thankful for the 4-0 start. We're doing a lot of good things, but we can get even better. And, we've got to start finishing drives more consistently if we're going to make a good playoff run. So a lot to build on. We're not where we need to be yet, but we're well on our way there, and it's been an exciting run. And I think the best is still to come.
All right, so that's going to do it for us tonight. Again, Plainfield takes it tonight, 21-20. We'll have the Tyler Bless Show coming up on Sunday morning for you. We'll have it up on the broadcast page, and we will look forward to talking with Coach about the big win. For Lex Zorn, I'm Rob Kendall. Plainfield takes it tonight, 21-20. 4-0 on the year. We'll see you next Friday against Greenwood.